Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
We wrap up the month of August with week 2 of the North Dakota 9-man football season here tonight on yourliveevent.com here in home North Dakota as the Maple River Raiders host the Griggs-Midkota Titans here in Region 1 football. Pleasant good Friday evening. I'm Chase Miller alongside sideline color commentator Nathan Hoots, and our producer tonight in the booth is Joey Hughes. Griggs-Midkota is coming off a season-opening 48-20 win over Tri-State last week, where senior quarterback Trey Spickler scored 7 touchdowns with 309 yards of total offense. The Titans have won back-to-back meetings in the series with the Raiders. Maple River had a season-opening loss in Hankinson, 52-14 against the Pirates last week. Trent Warren was a bright spot with a kickoff return for a touchdown, and linebacker Jens Irie was everywhere with 13 tackles in the loss. Maple River last beat the Titans on this very field in Hope in 2023. The last 2 years they've made their dates at Griggs-Midkota. We welcome into the sidelines again this season covering Raiders football. That's Nathan Hoots on the sidelines. And Hoots, as a previous coach, win or lose from week 1 to week number 2, what are you looking forward to, or what are some of the areas that you're looking to improve upon here in week number 2 of the season from either a Raiders or Titans point of view?
Yeah, I think as a coach, it's probably the most important film session you're going to have all year. You finally have something against someone wearing a different color jersey. And, last week it was a lot of almost for the Raiders when they played against Hankinson. They almost had guys in the backfield, and then those almost turned into big plays for the Pirates. And then, if you're the perspective of Griggs-Midkota, you got a big win against a team that you probably didn't know anything about playing a JV season last year. And anytime you can get a guy that puts the ball in the end zone 7 times, you got something that you can certainly work with the rest of the year.
As you move forward through with that, Griggs-Midkota senior quarterback and Trey Spickler, a dual threat. They saw Cade Hintz last week with Hankinson. Rayshawn Earl, obviously a lot of people were game planning for many years, so I think a lot of folks are wondering, would Hankinson drop off or would they stay the same? And I think it's the latter more so than the former there from the Pirates' perspective. But now that you've seen a dual threat quarterback and you're seeing one here tonight, Hoots, how does that ease into week number 2, seeing a guy who can sling it but also run it?
Yeah, I think it's really good for your discipline as a team. Last week it wasn't just, hey, you read pass and you're dropping into your zones, and you got to keep the eyes on the quarterback, because as soon as a lot of 9-man quarterbacks are taught, if your first read isn't there, you're taking off. So you got to have a lot of eyeballs on this quarterback tonight to make sure that he doesn't break the game open like he did consistently last week.
As you go forward here, an X factor, maybe it's a player, might it be an area of the football on either side? What's an X factor going into a game like this for Maple River and Griggs-Midkota?
I think probably the weakness you would identify on the Raiders side is their size up front. And I think that's definitely going to be an advantage tonight for the Titans. So it's going to have to be the trenches are the advantage that the Titans have, and they have to take advantage of that. And it's going to be, it's not going to be smash mouth, but if they're able to push the D-line back at the Raiders, it's probably going to be a tough night. But there's some athletes that are on the defensive line for the Raiders. So if they can, just try to use that athleticism to get by the big pigs up front from Griggs-Midkota, it could be a good game.
Final thing, Hoots, as we take a look, a gorgeous night for football here to wrap up the month of August, week number 2 of the 9-man football season. Just give us the conditions down there. What's everything kind of feeling like here for the home opener here for Maple River?
Everything is absolutely perfect. This is the greenest grass I've stepped on in quite some time. We have a little bit of wind from your left to right that may factor in, but I don't think I'm assuming it's going to die off. I think the biggest issue with the weather tonight might be the mosquitoes that'll settle in here in about an hour.
That is Nathan Hoots on the sidelines. Joey Hughes is our producer. I'm Chase Miller with you here. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get to our coaches' conversation. We'll hear from Sean Belke and Ryan Doctor. We'll hear a little Titans football next with Coach Ryan Doctor when we return on the pregame show here on yourliveevent.com.
Transform your home with Central City Lumber, your one-stop shop for all your home improvement needs. From showplace cabinets, stylish flooring, and Valspar paint, they have everything you need to bring your vision to life. Their expert team is here to help you choose the perfect materials and provide expert advice for your project. Plus, they build custom portable homes that can be moved anywhere in North Dakota. Visit Central City Lumber in Carrington today and see why they're the go-to destination for home improvement. Central City Lumber, quality you can build on.
At Central Pharmacy, we're more than just a pharmacy. We're your neighborhood destination for healthcare, home decor, and clothing. Pick up your prescriptions, then see what else we have to offer. With 2 convenient locations, we're always close by when you need us. Visit us in Carrington, where you'll find everything from everyday medications to one-of-a-kind gifts. Or stop by our New Rockford store, offering fast service, personal care, and that perfect item for any occasion. Central Pharmacy, 2 locations, 1 mission, caring for you every day.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions today and beyond with the Drain Tile Project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
As we continue now on the pregame show with our coaches conversation, joining us from the Titans' perspective is the head coach for Griggs-Midkota. That is Ryan Doctor, fresh off a victory in their season opener against Tri-State as they hit the road here this week and have a game this evening in Hope against Maple River. Ryan, just week number 1, always nice to get the pads popping, but always nice to come out with a region victory as well. So what'd you just like about your team's performance in week number 1 that you hope to carry over here into week number 2 against Maple River?
Yeah, definitely. It's always great to get that first week win. We were really pleased this year with starting the game hot on running the ball. We nearly had 400 yards rushing. We were able to establish that line of scrimmage. I know Tri-State, didn't play last year, so they're kind of getting their feet wet in region play at the same time. But it was a good warm-up game for us to get things rolling. And, we were able to control that line of scrimmage and take care of business from there.
Yeah, you mentioned controlling the line of scrimmage, and someone who was the beneficiary for you was your senior quarterback and Trace Spickler, a guy that did a little bit of everything, running the ball, passing the ball, a multitude of touchdowns, over 300 plus yards of offense there, Ryan. So just what worked from his perspective, seeing the game that way and being a dual threat?
Trace is such an athlete. To get him in open space is a dangerous thing. He's got the speed to go with it. Fastest guy on our team, but it really starts up front. I'm going to say that again. Our offensive linemen, we put it on the line for them, and they were able to control that. And our running backs and Trace really hit those holes hard, and it showed on the scoreboard at the end of the game.
You go through here week number 1 to week number 2. What's the biggest thing you want to see from improvement, whether it's offense, defense, special teams? What's the one area that you want to see continue grow from here, Ryan, going into week number 2?
Really consistency. We knew Tri-State was going to be down a little bit, but offensively, we still have to hit that run game. If we can't establish the run, nothing else opens up. We know we have the ability to pass. We have some great receivers that are there. But then on defense also, we know that we got to be able to stop the run. We're not as big as some other teams, but I'd like to think we got a lot of heart, and that heart is the thing that's going to have to pull us through when we get to some of those more meaningful games this season.
You go through and you look at just the last couple of years with the Titans and the Raiders on the football field, a lot of tight games, close games last 2 years, Ryan. So what just kind of comes to mind that will, I guess, from the last couple of seasons, what's some of the experience that you've seen or of why these two teams maybe just been so compatible, if you will, against each other for, having really tight football games?
Well, geographically, we're super close. Our kids know their kids. They know us. But a lot of credit to their program. They know how to play up to the level of competition. I'd like to think the last couple of years we've maybe had a better team. Silling has been a stud for them for quite a few years. But post Silling, we got to figure it out, and we've got to come out hot. But all the credit to their coaches, as they know how to get our number on a lot of different things, and we've just got to figure out how to play our game and take care of our business.
Outside of developing the line and controlling the line of scrimmage here, Ryan, as we alluded to, what's the biggest key, so to speak, looking at film or just seeing week one from your perspective, week one from the Raiders' perspective, going up against a quality opponent in Hankinson? Just kind of what's an area of the game that you say, hey, if we can do this well on top of the line of scrimmage, that you feel like you can have a pretty good chance to come away with the road victory?
Number one is take care of the ball. When you have turnovers, I think that's got us a couple times with Maple River in the past. Anytime that those turnovers happen, it opens the door for something. So I think if we take care of the ball and we don't have those turnovers, we should be just fine.
Final question for you, Ryan. What do you enjoy most as a head coach for Friday Night Lights? There's just one thing you really enjoy about, being on the sidelines, hearing the pads popping, kind of getting to that opening kickoff. What do you enjoy from a coach's perspective here as we kind of turn the calendar over, early in the season from August to September upcoming?
Biggest thing I enjoy is the connection with our guys. I mean, it's awesome to see these guys not just do football, but everything that they do reflects on our program. And I'd like to think we have a close knit of guys that like to be around each other, and it shows as we play the game. So I mean, I love working with them. It's awesome to see.
Ryan, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck here tonight and throughout the rest of the season.
Thanks, Jace.
Ryan Doctor, head coach for the Titans, will continue with more after this here on our Coaches Conversation on yourlivevent.com.
Every jersey has a number, and behind every number is a dream. A future teacher, an electrician, a nurse, a farmer, and a business owner, maybe even tomorrow's community leader.
If we can make that happen, then we've done our job. At Dakota Heritage Bank, we're proud to invest in the people behind the dreams.
For more information, visit www.dhb.bank. Dakota Heritage Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
As we continue here on the pregame show, with us now, part of our coaches conversation, is the head coach from the Maple River Raiders football program. That is Sean Belke, as they get ready for game number 2 of the season and their home opener as they welcome here Griggs-Midkota. Belke, game 1 to game 2, what's the biggest thing from a coaching standpoint now that you do have a younger squad? You look on the roster, just a handful of seniors, a good chunk of juniors, but a lot of sophomores and freshmen that had their first experience maybe being a starter in Friday Night Lights. So what's the biggest thing from your perspective going from game 1 to game 2 here as you welcome in Griggs-Midkota?
Right. It's just experience at this point. I mean, that's, it's a tough loss to take week 1, but also it's the bright side of it is that's a really good team for your younger guys to see right away and get great experience against. A third of our starting lineup was guys that, had never played varsity minutes really before, or had very little. And then, a couple other guys coming in that was the same deal, right? It's about half of our team. It's, they're pretty fresh. And, Hankinson had a lot of experience on us, just speed, power that, those young guys just had trouble matching up with right away. But as the game went on, you could tell they got a lot more confident with it. So that's something we're hoping to carry into week 2 against Griggs. I know previous years this has been a tough matchup. It's been kind of one that the guys are fired up about this year, losing to them 2 years in a row, both away games though. So now we get them on our turf. So I know the boys are fired up about that. Everybody's motivated for this. So I think just carrying that motivation into this week to play these guys, and also just building on experience that those younger guys got in week 1, has been kind of the message.
You're going to see a Titans football team that picked up a win in their opener against Tri-State here, Belky. But let's go back to what you just said. The last couple meetings, they have been close. 1-2 score games right down to the wire. A play here, a play there could make it, maybe a different outcome. So from your perspective, what has made these two teams, I'm not going to say be mirror images of each other, but be very similar in terms of what that final score has been, which has been very close the last couple seasons?
Right. It's just been, hard-nosed football, good defense all around. The guys want to go in, they want to hit, and they just want to play hard-nosed football. Uh, that's just kind of what, in Cooperstown, right? They're just down the road from us. The guys know each other, right? They talk in the off season and they hang out. So it just makes it a little bit more fun for them. I think it gets a little extra motivation. Uh, but yeah, it's like you said, 1-2 score games, one play could be the difference in either of those games the last couple of years. And I think the guys, last year, that first year it happened was tough enough, but then having this kind of the same story happen 2 years in a row where it's, especially in the red zone, right? A red zone offense, those last two games against them, it was like they seemed to toughen up in the red zone and we kind of let up in the red zone. And we just cannot let that be the story this year. We have to capitalize on our drives. And that's been one thing we've told them over and over again, right? That's where you need to be your best, is those last 20 yards. Doesn't matter if you can drive 80 yards if you can't get the last 20. So I think the guys are motivated for sure for this one.
You look at Griggs-Midkota, dual threat quarterback who can run the ball, can obviously throw the ball, got in the end zone a good chunk of times against Tri-State. So I know it just isn't okay. You're going to have to only look at him because they do have other playmakers here, Belky. But when you do have a guy that maybe was similar to who you saw with Hankinson now going into Griggs-Midkota in terms of that dual threat quarterback, what does that represent as a challenge defensively for you here tonight?
Right. Yeah, he makes them go. He's a very athletic player. I mean, last year we saw that right away in the game. He returned, first kick return. He took it back for a touchdown on us. We lost our contain. So we know how good he is. But yeah, having a dual threat guy is definitely tough because as much as you want to key on him in the run, their coaches will pick up on that and they'll sneak guys out. They have good athletes at receiver too. At that first game, it was they had him at wings, but they're good athletes. So you cannot just as much as we know number 7 kind of makes them go, you can't just get too caught up in that because they have good athletes all around the field.
Talk about some of your players who had that opportunity to maybe get those first Friday night lights or at a starting spot here. We'll start with Raymond Schlofelt, a freshman, got in there with a handful of tackles, obviously, for you defensively. Just kind of what I want to see from his progression from week 1 to week 2 here, being an underclassman here, Belky.
Yeah, Ray has been one of those guys where just his size and his demeanor and his attitude are kind of what set him apart for his age. He's a big, strong, fast kid, and just has a great attitude about football. He just wants to go and hit people, wants to play hard-nosed football. And at that age, sometimes there could be kind of some timidity, to those younger guys, but he does not have that. He wants to get in there and make plays. So that's been great to see. Yeah, that first game, it was kind of like I said earlier, it was kind of like a welcome, first half. Like you're here. This is varsity football. But as the game went on, he just got better and better and much more confident. And he plays center for us as well. And going against that D line that Hankinson has, I mean, that's probably one of the best D lines we're going to see all year. And going up against those guys and winning a lot of reps against them was awesome to see. So I think just his getting that experience right away, it's something we're going to build on. And I think he's going to have a really good year.
And we go from there to another freshman, more so on the defensive side of the football with Trig Erickson here. Got a handful of tackles for you in week number 1 against the Pirates. So same kind of a question. Just what have you seen from him to give him the opportunity, obviously, to be a starter here under Friday Night Lights as well here, Belky?
Yeah, Trig has put in a ton of work over the first couple of weeks. He came in, he didn't play football last year. And he came in knowing, we told him, you got to work. He's the biggest kid on our team, but he has, he knew what was expected of him coming into fall camp, and he worked his absolute tail off to see the field. And he's done a great job over fall camp. He did an awesome job Friday against Hankinson. Like you said, mostly going to be in there defensively. He can plug up those gaps on the defensive side of the ball. He's a big, strong kid. And we were just extremely happy to see, again, against a line of that caliber, seeing some of the strongest kids he's going to see all year. And just there are some plays where he's just handling them, right? Just taking them all the way back into the backfield. And that was awesome to see. And he's got great effort too. I mean, there's plays where they'd get to the outside and they'd be rushing down the sideline. He's trying to chase down backside just as much as anybody else. So you love to see that from a young kid, from a kid of his size too. It's just awesome to see the effort that he's put in to try to be on the football field, and it's paying off with minutes that he's playing.
Last question for you, Belka, before you let you go. You kind of alluded to it earlier, just getting that experience for a third of that team, just not, being a starter before and getting varsity action. But outside of the experience, what's the one area or the biggest thing in week number 2 here against Griggs-Midkota that you want to see from your team, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, to try to come away with a home opener win here against Titans?
Tackling. Tackling was not great against Hankinson. That is not who we are, right? That is something we pride ourselves on every single year, every single practice. It is what we are harping on. Said, if we're not good at anything else, we're going to be good at tackling. That is what we have to be. And it did not show in week 1. We weren't getting, we preached 9 to the ball every single play. We had guys taking plays off backside. It just wasn't, especially that first half, it just wasn't who we are and who we want to look like on the football field. So that's really been what we've been trying to get after this week of practice, is just tackling, 9 to the ball every single play. That has to be good because, like we said, they have guys in the backfield that can beat you a lot of different ways. And if we're not getting 9 to the ball and we're not tackling, we're not wrapping up, getting low, that could bite us.
Hey, Belky, as always, thanks so much for your time and best of luck here tonight against Titans.
Perfect. Thanks, Chase.
That again, Sean Belky, the head coach for the Maple River Raiders. This interview brought to you in part by Dakota Heritage Bank. We'll continue with more after this here in Hope.
Enbridge's Indigenous Reconciliation Action Plan is a promise and a commitment to listening and learning from the lived experiences of Indigenous people and applying that knowledge with action to forge a path towards reconciliation, towards building a future increasingly inclusive and respectful of Indigenous rights, values, and heritage. Learn more about how Enbridge is making good on that promise at enbridge.com.
Final segment on our pregame show here today in Hope. Overcast, mostly partly cloudy skies throughout the afternoon so far here in Hope. 78 degrees. It'll work its way to the low 70s by the time this one wraps up. All things considered, a gorgeous night for high school football here this evening in Hope, North Dakota. I'm Chase Miller alongside Nathan Hoots and Joey Hughes joining us here. Hoots, let's just get to the keys to the game here in this one. Griggs-Midkota fresh off a win over Tri-State last week. Maple River, their home opener after a season-opening loss at Hankinson. Biggest key in this game is what, from a Titan and Raider point of view here, Hoots, as we get to kickoff?
Start with the Raiders, and I think it's going to be tackling. And last week they had, like I said earlier, they had a lot of almost tackles. Tonight those almost tackles got to end up. They made a lot of contact in the backfield last week, but the Pirates had tons of yards after contact. And so just, being able to just finish off plays from the Raiders' perspective. And then when it comes down to 9-man football, these two teams, I think, have aspirations to sneak into the back end of the playoffs. And in a lot of times, 9-man football, if it's going to be close, it's going to come down to those 2-point conversions and how you execute in the red zone. So I'm looking forward to seeing how those teams execute.
The last couple of years being tight games, right? The Titans won 14-6 last season. 2 years ago, won 16-6. 3 years ago, Raiders put up 50 on the Titans, 51-22. Why do you think it's been such a tight game the last couple of years here, Hoots? And that game has been, again, on the road from the Raiders' point of view.
I think that's kind of like they're staring at each other. That Spider-Man meme where all three are pointing at each other. They're kind of mirror images of each other the last couple of years. They both had, pretty good offensive lines. They both had very good skill position players. And it's just a matter of, I think the opening kickoff went back for a touchdown last year when they were in Cooperstown. So it's just got to be something that, you got to be able to execute in all three phases tonight.
There are other games on yourliveevent.com here this evening. You have a little AA football with Dickinson at Fargo South. Brady Siebel's on the call. 1A football, Thompson at Hillsborough Central Valley with Jake Berkemeyer. The number 4 Botno at number 5 Northern Cass tonight with Joe Lancello and Hunter, North Dakota. Those games are on yourliveevent.com. 9-man football poll, the Rockets of New Rockford, Cheyenne Maddock, number 1. Lemoore Litchfield Mary, number 2. Linton HMB, number 3. With Divide County, the Maroons, number 4. And Napoleon Gackle Streeter, the Imperials, at number 5. That is your latest 9-man football poll as well. Those interviews that we had were brought to you in part by Dakota Heritage Bank, sharing their heritage and their future with locations in North Dakota and Minnesota. Go to dhb.com. Bank. Coming up next week for Maple River, they will host Tri-State here a week from today for their second home game of the season. While for Griggs-Midkota, they will host Richland for their second home game of the season as well. We'll take a break, and we come back. Starting lineups and the opening kick is around the corner here from Hope, North Dakota on YourLiveEvent.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
At Gar Dental Center, dentistry is about people first. They're proud to offer exceptional care to Carrington and the surrounding areas. Meet Dr. Gar and Dr. Sam and their dedicated team of dental professionals. Gar Dental is your home for dental implants, along with a wide variety of services, including guided biofilm therapy. Their experienced dental team is here to ensure you smile with confidence. Visit them at gardental.com or call 701-652-2300 to schedule an appointment today.
See you soon!
Hometown Community Bank serves both the Hope Page and Maple Valley School Districts in Page and Fingal, North Dakota. If you're interested in an ag loan, real estate, consumer, commercial, or HELOC, give Dwight a call at either branch location. Reach out to Janine about investing in a certificate of deposit or save by opening a money market account. Proudly supporting the Maple River Raiders and wishing the athletes and coaches a successful year. Hometown Community Bank is an equal housing lender and member of the FDIC. As we continue here on YourLiveEvent.com, the opening coin toss was won by Griggs-Midkota, and the Titans elected to defer. So we will see the Titans defensively here to open up the contest as Maple River will go offensively. Griggs-Midkota out in their white tops with the black numerals, with the black pants with the trim of white and blue down the side, as they'll go like this here for Griggs-Midkota defensively. Starting up front will be Toby Abraham, a sophomore defensive end, with Lane Ressler, a 5'8" senior as well. You have Cameron Taffelmeyer at the defensive end spot, and we'll see Hunter Singletary kind of rotating through here for the Titans. Linebackers of Jesse Wessels, the 5'8" sophomore, and then Watson Spickler, the junior, at the linebacker spot. Defensive backs of Trey Spickler and Dominic Ressler, Tristan Zahn, and your safety is Lincoln Ronigan here for Griggs-Midkota. The Titans head coach is Ryan Doctor. They're averaging 48 points per game defensively, giving up 20. As we turn our attention now to the Raiders of Maple River, clad in their blue attire with the white numerals, with Raiders across the front, with a Raider logo on one side of the helmet and a number on the left side here under the guidance of head coach Sean Belke in his second year. Already fifth year as a co-op here for Maple River football. The Raiders will go like this. Starting at a center is Raymond Schlofeld, the freshman. Ian Lark at left guard, with Owen Tickey, the senior, at 6'4" at 215 pounds. And for Tickey, he is one of two seniors on the roster here this season for the Raiders. Aiden Hannig, the tight end, at a sophomore spot at 6'2", with Raymond Olstead, the junior wide receiver. Also at wide out with Trent Warren, the senior. You have Charlie McCullough. He'll be in the backfield and will be flexed out at times, with Jens Irie, the 6' junior tailback, and McCoy Bierke will be the junior quarterback. That's our starting lineups here today. Maple River head coach is Sean Belke, averaging 14 points per game defensively, giving up 52 points per contest. We'll take a break. When we come back, kickoff is next here in Hope.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
High school football here tonight on YourLiveEvent.com. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and alongside Joey Hughes with you. If you want to check out more upcoming action on YourLiveEvent.com, simply check out our website. You can hit subscribe to our YouTube channel and also get you ready for the month of September, where volleyball season is officially around the corner starting next week. Girls golf's already been going, cross country. It's crazy to think we're a month away from our first state tournament in North Dakota with girls golf. That comes quickly here in the state of North Dakota. Nathan Hoots, Friday Night Lights, nothing better as we get ready for the opening kick. What's the feeling on the sideline down there for the home opener?
There's a good amount of energy. I'm really excited, and I think these boys are even more excited than we are.
Titans are looking to get to 2-0 on the season. The Raiders looking for an even 1-1. These are all region counters. Opening kickoff here on a Friday night right at 7 o'clock as we get this one underway, and there's going to be a high squibbler. It's a live ball. Warren will pick it up at the 37 and just hop on it at the 39-yard line as the Raiders will see their offense come out for the first time here this evening. Now for Maple River, a squad that lost Jonah Thompson, Gabe Burnson, Preston Dowes, Brendan Anderson, and Kyle Palmer last year in terms of seniors. And you've kind of seen the Carter Bosches, the Sillings, the Dows that have been the marquee here offensively. We'll see what the Raiders do here. A little pitch play. This one will be caught in the boundary behind the line, making his way through. It will be a loss to Jens Irie. That one will actually go down for a loss of 3 yards, and really good pursuit here by a host of Titans.
That was almost Andrew Van Ginkel for 6 there. That was very close to being picked off. That was inches over the fingertips of the D-end on your side of the field.
McCoy Bierke, the 5'11 junior, went 2 for 5 for 5 yards, and then trying to get to Jens Irie, who did have 70 yards rushing in the loss to Hankinson with a touchdown. But for Griggs-Midkota, they were flying defensively. A 3-down lineman front, couple linebackers, and they have 4 defensive backs. That's a bobbled snap. It's a broken play, and fortunately there for McCoy Bierke as he gets rolled over, able to make something out of nothing and picks up about 5 yards.
You know, no, yes plays typically are when the quarterback throws it off his back foot over the middle of the field, but that's a one you usually just like your quarterback just to grab and go straight down. But to be able to get 4 or 5 yards out of that, you got to be breathing. You got a little more options here now on 3rd down.
That felt like the fumble Ruski from the 80s and 90s is what that kind of felt like in a roundabout way. Now for the Raiders, how many yards can you get? You got to get 8, but can you get maybe 7 and create a 4th down opportunity as Bierke under center runs a little trap play, making his way through is Charlie McCullough. McCullough breaks 1 tackle but can't break another. Lane Wrestler was part of the defensive party that was able to make its way through, and that's going to go for nothing. Good pursuit here by the Titans early on, and that brings up a 4th down.
That's a unique play there. It's usually when you run some type of a counter and you run that fake, he's usually the decoy to the opposite side of the field, but instead they used him as a lead blocker. But now we have an interesting decision early on.
Yeah, Hunter Singletary as well, defensive lineman, kind of been bowling his way into the backfield early against these Raiders offensive linemen. As coming on to punt here for Maple River will be Charlie McCullough, stands back at his own 33. Clean snap. The punt is going to get blocked. The Titans get home, and this one will be picked up at the 35-yard line. Coming right through the A-gap is Lane Wrestler, and quickly Wrestler going to get knocked in the wind as it hit his stomach, but no one blocked number 8, Hoots, and immediately a big special teams play here for Griggs-Midkota.
It appeared the first time that he was contacted was 5 or 6 yards deep into the backfield. You can't let a guy come untouched. You try to block interiorly first and then let the guys from the outside have to work all the way around the edge. But, you know, they were only snapping at, what, were they 9 yards, maybe 10 yards deep? So it was a close, long snap. So he didn't have to travel very far to get that block.
He did not. And what this does for the Titans, it puts your right Johnny on the spot at the 34-yard line into positive territory here to open things up here for Griggs-Midkota, looking to capitalize. High snap. Spickler will take it on the QB keeper. Makes a man miss. Spickler loses the ball. It's free. And it looks like the Raiders have recovered. And they have. McCoy Bierke gets the ball right back. It's a gain of 5. But a turnover on downs as Bierke comes up with a fumble recovery.
a big wave of change right there in momentum. That was, I don't know if it was a bobbled snap or missed exchange, what exactly happened there, but there were a lot of blue that saw the ball on the field before White did.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a high snap on the way, but immediately the ball came out after Spickler got hit, and Bjerke right there as they run a little sweep action to Trent Warren. Warren's going to get hogtied at the 30-yard line and wrapped up for about maybe a yard or so as Jesse Wessels comes in on the tackle. Warren will get about maybe 2 on the jet sweep as all of a sudden a block punt and a fumble, and we are off and rolling on your bingo card here on a Friday night.
Yeah, it's going to get filled in a hurry here. The defensive line of scrimmage has been very controlled in the first 4 plays of this game by Griggs-Midkota. They are owning up front right now.
And that's one thing we talked about. Singletary definitely has been part of that lane. Wrestler who got the block, he's back in on that front. Bjerke, quick pass to the outside, and not going to go anywhere as Dominic Wrestler. They tried that play twice, and both times the Titans outside linebackers were ready for it, and McCullough will lose about 7 yards.
Early on, it appears they have both the strength and the athleticism advantage here. It's going to have to be something maybe a little tricky here. You don't want to get too crazy this deep in your own territory, but you might need to pull something out of the bag of tricks here.
As the Raiders are trying to find a way to move the ball up the field, but so far that quick screen game has not been able to get a pursuit, and give credit to the Titans as they are flying around to the football right now as Bjerke has some time, steps up right in front of us, makes the throw, and this one will be bobbled and nearly picked. It was a 500 plays. He had 4 players around it. Eventually it's incomplete. Warren was the intended receiver alongside with Olstead. Good defense by Ronigan and alongside with Spickler. As Spickler nearly caught it between his ankles. It'll be a 4th down.
Would that have been long enough for a first down if it
It
ended
would
up
have
being
been,
completed?
yes.
Yeah, so I think it's a good decision to try to do that based on how your punt went the first time. So you're essentially, even if it's intercepted, it's better than the result of the first punt. So just a long attempt, see if you can get pass interference or something to get a first down.
The clock will stop with 8:30, and this is already our end of the 3rd possession between these two on the City of Hope scoreboard. Clean snap. This time the punt is going to be a line drive kick that'll make its way past the 50 into Titans territory at the 46-yard line or so, able to flip the field. About a 30-yard punt, and that's where the Titans will take over for their 2nd possession of the contest.
So we're going to be on pace for about a 50-possession game tonight, Chase. So hopefully your curfew isn't before midnight.
If it's a 50-possession game, we were joking earlier here today about different games that we've seen for 9-man football. I reminisced of Tri-State Mayport CG about 8-9 years ago where they scored nearly 70 points combined in 1 quarter. That was a lot of possessions.
I did not enjoy coaching against both of those teams, by the way.
I needed a lot of paper that game. As the Titans will come out here with Spickler. Spickler had 309 yards of total offense and 7 touchdowns last week against Tri-State. Little option play here with Spickler. Spickler's going to keep it, and he's going to get met for about a yard. Good defense on the way there by Jens Irie, who led the team with 13 tackles last week in Hankinson. It's 2 yards on the play for Spickler.
So this is like 9-man throwback of student body left and student body right here. That's a lot of wings and a lot of linemen on one side of the field. There's a lot of green space over here with 2 numbers. You got 33 and 11 on this side of the field. If they decide to run weak side, those 2 guys are going to have to make a play.
Halverson's going to be at left guard. That's Cade Halverson, the junior here for Griggs-Midkota. You got Lane Wrestler at center right now with Spickler. Going to hand this one off to Ronigan. Ronigan makes a man miss at the 50. Ronigan looking to get to the outside. Ronigan makes another man miss at the 45. And Ronigan rows his way to the 42-yard line. That's a gain of 10 missed tackles. First down for the Titans.
It's reminiscent of what we saw last week. Unfortunately for the Raiders last week, it was if the first guy missed, it was Pirate running into the open space. Better pursuit tonight. The guys are just tackling up around the shoulder pads rather than hitting in the thighs.
Dominic Wrestler also out there here for the Titans, able to see Singletary as well on the right-handed side near sideline. Winding up here for Griggs-Midkota, it's Jesse Wessels. A little interesting offensive look for the Titans as they have a couple of guys at 2 different levels. Speed option. The Raiders able to string this one out, and the Raiders will get home this time with a good pursuit, swarming defense. Ronigan will lose 2 to 3 yards on the play.
DN did a good job of stringing everything out, forced an early pitch. If you can force an early pitch, that allows everybody to know exactly who's going to have it. if you have to wait and wait and wait for that quarterback to make a decision, that puts a defensive player in kind of in jail.
Your defensive line of Owen Tickey here, alongside with Trig Erickson. Erickson, the 6'1 freshman. Aiden Hannig, a sophomore at 6'2", and Tickey, a 6'4", 215 senior who's just gotten bigger every year here playing Friday Night Lights for Maple River. Brings up 2nd down and 12 here for the Titans. Spickler will have this on the end-around play, and that will eventually actually go for a pitch and a catch of 3 yards to Dominic Ressler.
I was going to say it was a bit of a wobbly exchange, but if it was forward, then it's not the end of the world. But the ball handling's been a little dicey early. Now, Trig Erickson in the middle. He's a big old freshman. If his pad level is down, he's getting in the backfield. As soon as he plays patty cake or on the shoulders, he's going to be non-existent. So it'll be interesting to see if he can stay low throughout the game. As a freshman, you wonder about conditioning at this stage of the game or stage of the season. So we'll see what happens.
Bierke and Warren, your defensive backs, with McCullough at safety here. We'll get to linebackers. 3rd down and a long 9. Spickler has time. Throws across the middle. This one's complete at the 20. Oh, what a catch and high point. It was Tristan Zahn. Zahn went up for that one at the 20. He gets tackled at the 17-yard line. A gain of 24 and move the chains Titans.
That was really good coverage and an even better throw and catch. That was a tremendous play.
As you look at it, here's some of these starters on the linebacker spot with Raymond Schlofeld, another freshman up the middle. You do have Ian Lark, a junior at 6'1", and then Jens Irie, the 6' junior linebacker. Right up the middle between the hashes, little deep post. Nice pass there for Spickler. 1st and 10 as the Titans for the first time tonight are in the red zone with 5:20 left to go on that City of Hope scoreboard opening quarter, as they're going to run the dive option up the middle, gain a couple of yards past the 15 to the 14 on the play. Here on the run is Jesse Wessels, the sophomore running back.
Going back to that play, the big play on 3rd down, that's kind of been the biggest issue with coverage for the Raiders in the last couple of years. They've always been right there, just high pointing the ball on those 50-50 balls that just never seem to go their way.
2nd down and 8 for Griggs-Midkota. Titans looking to put the first 6 on the board if they fumbled on their first play from scrimmage here earlier in the quarter. Spickler with a 3-man rush. Spickler fires near sideline. Ronigan makes the catch at about the 7-yard line of where they needed to get to the line. And this one will be a yard shy. So it's 7 yards on the play, brings up 3rd and 1.
I'm just going to correct you because I'm inches away from the chains. We are a solid 3rd and 2 right now.
Okay, solid 3rd and 2. So 3rd down here upcoming for the Titans, but in 9-man football is very much 4-down territory. Last year we did see Richland kick a 45-yard field goal.
Might have been the
home.
highlight of our season.
Yes, it was. You don't see that in 9-man football too often. As Spickler, clean snap, QB keeper, cuts back and gets the first down to the 5, and Spickler's in for the rushing score. Spickler hits pay dirt from 8 yards out, and Griggs-Midkota takes the first lead on the City of Hope scoreboard.
The edge was set really well by the D end on this side, Owen Tickey. There was no fill, and the old linemen were looking for someone to block on that play.
4 minutes and 20 seconds comes off the clock on a 9-play drive that amasses over a nice 55 yards on the drive, and Spickler just did a good job finding a hole, putting that foot in the ground, getting the first down. Then they got to the second level, as Hoots talked about. As this one comes through, Spickler open, end zone, yes, 2-point conversion is good for the Titans. Dominic Ressler with the catch, and we got a new score on the City of Hope scoreboard. It's Titans 8, Raiders scoreless here midway through the first quarter.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Hope, North Dakota, work and play in Hope from job listing and housing options. You can search hopend.com. That again is hopend.com. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Joey Hughes are a 3-man weave on a Friday night. Griggs-Midkota goes 55 yards down the field, 9 plays. They cap it off with a Spickler rushing touchdown. And so far, Hoots, what they've been able to do from the booth up top, create some lanes here for Spickler, especially running the football. on that quarterback power play. That has been a really good play so far here for the Titans.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of, Owen Tickey's probably one of the best defensive players for the Raiders, and they're almost engaging him to set the edge to get him out of the C gap. And then there's the fill from the linebackers. It'll improve. They got young linebackers, but they got to get downhill a lot faster.
As Singletary will put this ball on the tee at the 40-yard line. It's already the third possession of the game upcoming for Maple River. Singletary, this one's a kick. It's going to make its way through to Warren at the 40. Warren trying to make a man miss. That's Spickler, who's going to spin him off to about the 44-yard line. The Raiders will have good starting field position here, as they will start off with their best starting field position here of the contest.
It's always interested to find out, a 9-man, you don't spend a ton of time on kickoff and stuff like that. There's limited time, and you have not many practices before your first couple of games. You wonder, is it they just simply can't find a guy that can boom it inside the 20, or they want to potentially maximize their possessions?
Hey, I tell you what, if you keep that one on the grass, it just might hit someone's kneecap one time, and it might take a fortuitous bounce.
That took 2 or 3 low hops before it took a big one, so you never know.
Comes out with a little trips near sideline here for Maple River. Going to be a QB keeper here for the Raiders is Bierke. Bierke gets to the boundary, 50-yard line into Titan territory as Trey Spickler rolls him down. That will be at about the 48-yard line. And, well, a monkey see, monkey do there, Hoots, as the Raiders get a healthy gain of 9.
That was the first time where there was 0 interior pressure, and the old what did you call that play when
bobsled?
Bobsled.
Bobsled.
The front guy of the bobsled was searching for someone to block.
Yeah,
and that's when you know you're going to get a good play.
That was cool runnings, right, where you let 2-3 guys out in front of you, and you have either a 2-man or a 4-man bobsled. Because Luge is 1, right? Luge is 1 or 2.
You would know more than me.
Okay. Our cameraman Joey's going 1. So here we go. Handoff going up the middle. Gets to the 45-yard line. Spinning his way. Jens Irie gets the first to the 42. That'll be a gain of 5 and a first down here for Maple River.
I think this is kind of what they want. They got to be able to run the ball in both directions. You got to be able to run it outside. You got to be able to run it inside. And that allows for, I don't think they want to throw the ball a ton, but if you can run the ball, that opens up play action. You get those linebackers coming downhill, and then you can find guys in that gap between the safety and the linebackers.
As for the Raiders right now, after a block punt and then another punt, trying to mount a drive and see if they can answer after Griggs-Midkota put one up on the board in their second possession. I formation, Bierke pitch play out to Jens Irie, looking to get to the boundary, to the 40, to the numbers, 35-30. He has the first down, and he will make his way to about the 27 for a gain of 15.
That was textbook outside lead blocking by Charlie McCullough. He got his inside arm on the edge defender, and as soon as he realized that he was not going to make the play, he moved his way to the next level and allowed him to probably get another 8-10 yards.
As they make their way first down and 10. First down and 10 upcoming here for the Raiders, as they will be at the 27-yard line. And in high school football again, you step out of bounds, its clock will stop, as it does there at first and 10. Just some different rules from what you see in college and the pros, especially early on in the first quarter. First and 10, I formation. This would be a QB keeper. There's that bobsled play that we're talking about. Bierke trying to get to the outside, and this time the Titans do a much better job of fending that one off, as that's going to be a loss for a yard or maybe 2 on the play. And there's the pursuit by Griggs-Midkota.
The end on that side did not allow himself to get sealed in that time. That was the difference. And then the ball handling was a little iffy there from the quarterback. He brought the ball up and over the top of a defender, and then you could see as soon as he did that, there was a guy up there ripping.
Yeah, you got Jesse Wessels on the outside. Also coming outside was the linebacker with Dominic Ressler, kind of a 1-2 combination. 2 minutes left to go in the opening quarter, as the Raiders will see a second down and long, a second down and 12 upcoming here for Maple River. Under the I formation is Bierke. Bierke with a little trap play to Warren. Warren to the 25, Warren to the 20, spins his way, and Trace Spickler stayed home. If he doesn't, Warren's probably in. Instead, it's a gain of 10, but makes it a short 3rd and 2.
So typically you run that play as the counter to the play that you ran earlier, where it was the kind of the lead counter. This was the one where you fake and you give the opposite direction, and they ran that beautifully. They created a nice crease. That's all you got to do is create one crease, and then you got the guard filling through the middle to take on that first linebacker. And just like that, you got yourself a manageable 3rd down.
A drive that started at the 3:57 mark at their own 44-yard line. The Raiders need 2 yards here for the first, as Bierke goes back under center one more time. Hands this one off. Jens Irie has a little bit of a lane, gets the first down and some to the 16, as he's going to be wrapped up by Toby Abraham, the 6'2 sophomore, but it's a gain of 4 yards.
Yeah, Jens, he's a little bigger than your traditional back, being a 6 foot. You like, a lot of backs you'll see at this level are more like the 5'8" to 5'10". He runs a little bit too upright. He's young, though. He didn't play a ton last year as a freshman. The more carries he's going to get and the more hits he's going to take, he's going to learn that pad level's got to drop a little bit, and he's going to become a very powerful runner.
Ball will be spotted at the 15-yard line, so the Raiders can get one more first down if needed. And Maple River, this possibly could be the final play of the quarter. Trent Warren will come out, little jet sweep action. Warren going to get stoned right at the line. Good job on the perimeter. Making his way through the block was Toby Abraham, the sophomore, yet again with another tackle as Warren goes nowhere. It's 2nd and 10.
So this is the opportunity you have here. You don't want to just walk to the other end of the field, get up there. You don't have to run a play, but try to get a free 5 here with a hard count. Or, if you got a play that you love and the look you like, you can run it, but you at least got to try to sneak 5 yards here.
Well, they got 16 seconds, and if they need to, they can definitely run one more play as Maple River looking to get set. 2nd down and 10 upcoming for the Raiders. Bierke gonna roll, looking for someone. Bierke trying to avoid a sack, throws it up, and this one is going to be hauled in for an interception. Trey Spickler comes up with the INT, and it looks to be right at the line, and we'll see if it's at the 1 or if it's a touchback, as Bierke was trying to make his way through as best he possibly could. He evaded a sack, and it looks like they're going to mark this as a touchback. That's how we'll end our first quarter play. Griggs-Midkota with the stand defensively gets the turnover. It'll be a first down Titans when we return.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hopepage.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
In the heart of North Dakota, James River Ag is proud to serve New Rockford and surrounding communities. Since 2017, founder Taylor Keplin and his team have delivered trusted agronomy solutions, premium seed, and expert spraying on the ground and in the air. They go the extra mile because your farm is more than a business, it's a way of life. They are your partner and will help you make informed decisions and stay ahead of the challenges every season brings. James River Ag. Quality products, trusted service. Let's grow together.
As we come back here on YourLiveEvent.com, Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Joey Hughes with you here in Hope, North Dakota. Well, a good try for Maple River, but eventually you try to run that play action and get that defense to guess or maybe bite a little bit, Hoots, and the Titans did a good job with secondary play. They nearly got the sack, which forced the quarterback again from Maple River and Bierke to throw that one up but into a lot of traffic, and give credit with Trey Spickler as he came away with the INT.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great coverage, great eye discipline. There hadn't been a whole lot of throws, so as a DB and a safety, you can get lulled to sleep with run, and it's I like the play call. I like the taking the chance on the last play of the quarter with the play action, but you'd rather see the ball probably just get thrown out of bounds and dirt it, something like that. Just keep the possession alive.
And it was close. Was it at the 1? Was it at the goal line? Right when you come down, they mark it in the end zone, so it's a touchback, which also changes the complexion offensively here to start a drive, Hoots, with the ball at your own 20.
Yeah, now it's no big deal, but if you're inside your 1, lots of bad things can happen.
Spickler, pump fake. As Spickler looking to have a backyard play. Spickler near sideline 25. He tiptoes his way to the 30 before he gets wrapped out of bounds at the 32-yard line. They'll mark it. It's a gain of 12 backyard football for Spickler, and it's a first down. 4 rushes now for 27 yards.
Did a great job. When you break the pocket and you got one-on-one with a defender, the best thing that you can do when you are on the move is pump fake. You can get that guy to jump up in the air, and then you have the advantage. Just like doing a pump fake in basketball. Any type of movement just like that, you get him off his toes, then you have the advantage in break contain.
And Trey Spickler with 61 yards of total offense. He has 8 touchdowns in 5 quarters, for crying out loud, here in 2026. Twins right, 1 to the left. Shotgun formation for Spickler. Raiders going to rush for Spickler, QB keeper, and they got the edge sealed by Ticky. He gets to 40, 45, picks up a block, 50, and Spickler, could he go? 30, 20, Spickler is gone! A 68-yard house call, the second rushing touchdown of the night, and Griggs-Midkota has a 14-0 lead.
We talked about sealing the edge on the big plays that the Raiders had on the last possession, and that was textbook on this side of the field. They were, both the end and the receiver did a great job of taking care of their one-on-one blocks and freeing them up.
Once they got by Ticky, that just became difficult from a Raiders perspective, and you get to that edge in 9-man football, and we've always talked about it. Minnesota, you play on a smaller field in terms of width. It's 120 yards, but it's a smaller field. But here in 9-man in North Dakota, you get to the numbers, and more times than not, you are going to be in the end zone, and that's what Spickler was able to do for his second rushing touchdown of the night. Well, Trace will come out trying to get the 2-point conversion, and oh, how the tables have turned, if you will, where Maple River was looking to score. 2 plays later, boom, 80 yards down the field for Spickler. He gets in for a house call. Spickler looking to pass. Spickler, we get our first yellow hanky of the night as Spickler looking to get in for the 2-point conversion, but this one might be coming back. We'll call it a holding, and they'll say you can move him back 10 yards and make it now a 2-point conversion from about 13 yards away.
I've talked with 9-man coaches in the past that run their spread 4 or 5 wide receivers, and they'd almost rather go from the 10 or 12 than inside the 5 just because of the extra space you have that the defense then has to cover. You know, that's not exactly Griggs-Midkota, you know, to a T is running spread all the way over the place, but when you have, you know, an athletic quarterback and receivers that can move and catch, it's not really the end of the world here.
As you get one chance to get for 2, but as Hoot said, it does give you a little bit more space to operate with, as they will come out shotgun formation here for Trey Spickler. Spickler has time, throws it across the middle. This one going to be caught by Ronigan. There is a flag. It could be in the land of holding, but it is hauled in for Ronigan. So if it's on Maple River, 2 points is good. If it's on the Titans, we'll have to redo the 2-point conversion all over again. Holding Maple River, 2-point conversion is good, and a new score on the City of Hope scoreboard. Titans 16, Raiders scoreless.
Maple River Raider fans, it's game time. Your high school athletes are giving it their all, and they need you in the stands, on the sidelines, and behind the scenes. So grab your gear, bring the noise, and show your Raider pride all season long. Let's rally behind the Raiders and make a difference.
3rd and a long 10, looking to throw. Bierke coming across, got a man at the 5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders! The junior Trent Warren with a house call of 21 yards.
Raider fans, we appreciate your support on the field. Go Raiders!
At Bank North, we strive to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. One transaction, one relationship, and one community at a time. We do it by supporting kids and schools, pitching in to help neighbors in need, partnering with rural businesses, and providing all the traditional and modern banking products and personalized lending services you expect from a reliable financial partner. Bank North, always true.
A 2-play drive for Griggs-Midkota that goes 23 seconds. A Trey Spickler 12-yard rush and a Trey Spickler 68-yard rush. And Spickler hits Ronigan for the 2-point conversion. And Griggs-Midkota has a 16-0 lead over Maple River here on our final Friday of August. It's crazy to think Labor Day weekend's around the corner very late this year, as we still get one more week of Friday Night Lights, the first week of September before we get to Labor Day weekend. And this one will be put on the tee. And this will be right at the stomach of Ticky. There's more of a line drive kick by Singletary. That was like a double thud into Ticky's stomach. Ball will be at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, you could hear the plastic on the shoulder pads get thumped there. I got a bad story about when we played Griggs-Midkota, one of my last years coaching. It was the final possession of the game, and it was drilled right into my guy's front, you know, just right into the chest, and it ricocheted like a fastball off of that, and it actually went back past where they kicked the ball. Needless to say, we did not recover.
Well, good job by Ticky being ready for that one. As the Titans, you got to make sure they got enough guys. They have 9. They had one running off the field late. 1st down and 10. Bierke going to pitch this one out. Jens Irie going to make his way. Breaks out of a tackle, and then good pursuit yet again. Lane Wrestler has been all over this field defensively for the Titans, and this will be a loss of 4 yards.
Yeah, you definitely can't bail on the game plan that you've had all week. It's 2 possessions. But a couple little things you can clean up on defense, but you cannot bail on what you worked on all week and go to something different.
So far for Maple River, a block punt, a punt, then an interception. The interception was when they were driving the football. That, again, was picked off right at the end zone. Well, for Griggs-Midkota, a fumble on their first possession of the game. Since then, 2 touchdowns and 2 converted 2-point conversions. As Bierke QB keeper gets to the edge, the 45-yard line, then gets thrown out of bounds by Watson Spickler at about midfield. We'll see where they mark it. They'll mark it at the 50, so a gain of 6.
Yeah, just a slight change there. Got the edge taken care of. Owen Tickey did a great job of taking care of his edge. And, just a lot of positive momentum right there on that play.
Get our first time out of the game. We'll break with them. Timeout on the field here for Griggs-Midkota. 10:50 left to go in the opening half. It's the Titans and the Raiders 16-0 in favor of Griggs-Midkota.
A foundation forged in their grandfather's shop. Martin's Welding and Machine of Glenfield creates custom parts for farmers and ranchers to solutions for local residents and growing businesses. They're also your certified dealer and installer for PowerLift hydraulic doors. Designed for strength, sealed for North Dakota weather. Custom designed and built for your door size. Call 701-785-2555 or visit martinswelding.com. Serving all of North Dakota and beyond. Martin's Welding and Machine. Matt and Mike will make it right.
Our officiating crew here tonight, Brent Ingebretson is the white hat here. You also have Ryan Strandy with Brandon Schielberger. You got Mr. Limke and Gareth, and then Todd Carlson here for our officials here tonight. 5-man crew, high school football. Everything rose to the Fargo Dome at the Dakota Bowl on November the 13th. And then in November as well, we'll see what the new football plan will be for the next 2 years as we get a full start on Trent Warren, as Warren was trying to get reset, but he came across the line and then kind of rocked back. So that'll be a loss of 5 yards. First penalty of the game for Maple River, and bring it back now to a 3rd and 13. Sounds like we'll still have 40 teams in 9-man football next year. As Sean Belke wants to take a timeout, we'll keep it here, Hoots, because the football plan's always interesting. We've seen year to year, but that makes it tough on athletic directors and coaches to try to schedule each year when teams are moving up or going down. Yep. So you're doing 2 years, 40 teams in 9-man, which will be similar to what we have now. You got 10 teams in a region if that's how you break it down. You have your 9 games, yep, and then top 4 make it to the postseason. Single A would be 32, and then that would leave roughly, pending co-op and numbers, about 25 teams between AA and AAA to figure out the 10 teams in AA, 15 in AAA, but that's kind of what it sounds like for numbers, at least enrollment-wise, moving forward. And I think 9-man with the 4 regions is a little bit better than the 8 that we saw a couple years ago.
Yeah, and there was a couple years ago where, what was there, 5 teams in a region?
Or 4.
Yeah, and you're playing 4 not meaningless, but 4 preseason games, if you will.
3rd down and long here for the Raiders as Bierke in the gun. Bierke has to step up. Does he get hit? And that's going to be the old Tom Brady tuck rule as he got hit when he about threw it. It's going to be incomplete, but the Titans so far defensively have gotten home on Bierke a handful of times here, and it brings up a 4th and 14.
Yeah, the edge defender on this side just went right around, ran the hoop, as you say, and did a great job of getting his hand up on the quarterback. That's what's changed in the last 10 or so years in football. Instead of going for the sack there, a lot of times if that quarterback shows the ball, you are swatting at that thing rather than trying to go wrap him up around the waist.
Cameron Tafelmeyer will come out of the game after he applied the pressure on the quarterback. Bierke makes it a 4th down upcoming after Sean Belke called the timeout. So 4th down and long as they're looking to get set. Charlie McCullough 8 yards back from the line. McCullough, quick snap, gets the right-footed kick off as Ronigan will make the catch at the 25, makes a man miss and gets wrapped to the 35-yard line. Tackled by Ian Lark. Good return, though, of 10 yards, and good starting field position here for the Titans on their 4th drive.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. Unfortunately, there's a lot of it's a must-stop drive here. You don't want to get down 3 possessions at any point in a game, let alone at this point early in the second quarter against a team that you move the ball on one of your – have they had 4 possessions now?
This will be their 4th. Yep.
Yeah, so 1 of 4 possessions the Raiders have moved the ball. You don't want to fall behind 3 possessions against a team like that.
And Griggs-Midkota as well deferred to the second half, so you also have that in the back picture. If they can put something together and put a drive here for Griggs-Midkota, this is kind of the early knockout punch from a Titans point of view. Raiders looking to get a turnover or get the ball back without giving up a score. Ronigan trying to get to the outside in good pursuit, staying home on the boundary was Aiden Hannig, the sophomore, coming in. Stayed home, Hoots, and he wrapped him up at the ankles for the 3-yard loss.
First, I'll give credit to Hannig for making an open field tackle. That was really well done, but I'm assuming that was some type of a miscommunication. You shouldn't be running some type of an inside zone to that side and not putting a body on that end. But I guess it could have been a cutback that, maybe there was some miscommunication, but great wrap up in open field.
Coming up at the half, we'll take a look at your first half numbers. Out of town scoreboard. Week 2 for 9-man in 1A. It's week 1, which is also interesting, or week 0, however you like to call it, and nowadays of week 0, week 1 football for AA and AAA. And we got the flag, and this might be a delay of game as it came all the way from the back. And it will be the second penalty for the Titans. And so moving back a little farther now, 2nd and 18 upcoming.
Hey, now it's got to be, hey, play the pass, but you got to have eyes on number 7. You can't just play your man and turn your back to the line of scrimmage. There's a lot of good mobile quarterbacks. You know, as soon as they see the back of your jersey, they're going to attack that space, and they got to do a good job of keeping a lot of eyes on him.
I'll ask you, can you spy in 9-man
Absolutely.
football
Absolutely,
here? And I think I already got my answer.
Yep.
2nd down and 18 upcoming here for the Titans. Spickler with a 3-man rush. Ticky trying to get there as Spickler, nice lollipop pass to Ronigan on the catch on a crosser at the 40-yard line, and Ronigan's going to make his way as he rolls to about the 43-yard line. So he got a lot of it back, 16 yards on the pitch and catch, and it's a 3rd and 2.
Has really good job, just a little jump throw, and you know, those 50-50 balls have been going the way of the Titans pretty much every single time tonight so far. It hasn't exactly been 50-50s.
Can you spy in 9-man hoots, and how do you spy in 9-man?
You can absolutely. You put your middle backer on him, and you can play zone around it. You can play man around it. It's very universal. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but a lot of times you put your best athlete, your best open field tackler, keep your eyes on him, and just shadow him all over the field.
3rd and 2. This will go to the halfback. It's a halfback direct snap. It's going to be right at the line to gain here for Tristan Zahn. He will get the first down. It'll give him 2.5 yards and move the chains. So you go from a 2nd and 18, you get to a manageable 3rd down and 2, and you just give it right to the halfback or the upback there for a gain of 3.
It's easier to play a spy when you don't have like a serious downhill running threat in the backfield. And we haven't seen a ton of that yet from the Titans. But, you know, if a team has a bruising back that can run between the tackles, it's tough to spy.
As Spickler is going to have a QB keeper as they're going to run the quarterback power from the far sideline. He gets into Raider territory, and he's going to wrap his way out of bounds, and he gets stuck. Able to make the tackle was Ian Larkin, a host of other Raiders on that one, but the pads were popping for about a gain of 12.
Yeah, a lot of good tackles right there. The initial surge from the offensive line was much lower than the pad level in the defensive line. That's going to be something I'm sure they'll see on film, that, you know, their initial step, their hips are going upward rather than forward, and that can cause you to just get blown backwards or pushed upwards.
6 carries so far for Trey Spickler, 107 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he's 4 for 4 for 50 yards passing. Playing on a performance that he did against Tri-State last week here, and he's replicating it in week number 2. Spickler, 1st and 10, pitch play near sideline to Wrestler. Wrestler's going to get wrapped up at about the 40. Gain of 1, maybe 2 yards there for Wrestler as he's able to dive forward.
I think, you know, a theme so far of their runs have been they're finishing falling forward. And that's a small attribute that can go a long way, and just yard after yard after yard that you gain on top of the run that you're already getting. You know, he's falling forward. It could be 2nd and 10. It's 2nd and 8, though.
And this will be the 6th play of the drive with 7:42 left to go here in the 2nd quarter on the City of Hope scoreboard. Titans, a little bit of a drive right now with Spickler in the gun. Spickler fakes. Spickler steps up, looking for Ronigan down the far side, and Ronigan will see this incomplete, but a flag comes in. Warren was on the defense. The flag comes in, and where it came across could be a defensive pass interference. And this will be a pass interference on Maple River. Hoots, you were on the sideline there. I know the hometown crowd probably doesn't like that call on the one, but what did you just kind of see right in front of you?
In the NFL, you have to turn and look, right? If you don't turn and look, it's automatic defensive pass interference. He did not turn and look, but that's not a foul in high school football. I didn't believe that there was contact early, but I'm also wearing a Raider logo on my shirt, so I have a little bit of bias. I'd like to see that be a play on and no foul.
Oh, Ronigan, the 6-foot senior, able to have the possession on the 5'10 senior in Trent Warren. So what it does move the chains on the penalty there for Maple River. That'll be their 2nd of the game now for 20 yards after a false start penalty on their previous possession. Spickler in the gun. Ball at the 21-yard line as he's 25-yard line. Spickler trying to get by Hannigan, able to do so as he gets pushed out of bounds Raiders did a good job getting their Hoots, but as we've seen Spickler be able to do, get around that outside backer, outside edge rusher, he does get back to the line.
And same thing, he reached that football out. He got a couple extra yards rather than 2nd and 12, it's 2nd and 10. See, going back to that pass interference call, if you want to call it pass interference, that's fine. But I think the person, the judge, the official that needed to make that call was the side judge on this side of the field. The angle that the back judge had from over there made it really difficult to see that.
2nd down and 10 upcoming here for the Titans. Twins wide receivers, one to the left-handed side here for Griggs-Midkota. Tristan Zahn, the junior. Spickler in the shotgun formation. Spickler steps up, fires, looking for Ronigan. Did he put his hands underneath the football? No. They're going to say it did hit the grass. That's going to be incomplete, and it's 3rd and 10. First incompletion of the night for Trace Spickler, but I still like that design because if you do get the 5 yards, all of a sudden now it's 3rd and 5 instead of 3rd and 10.
Yep, and there was a little stutter go on this side of the field, and Warren did a good job of not biting on it, understanding that, they haven't really thrown any short intermediate throws underneath on the sidelines. They've thrown some short ones over the middle, but everything on the outside have kind of been 50-50 up in the air. Pretty much going the Titans' way every time.
And Titans looking for a 1st down. Raiders looking to see if they can get one play, get to a 4th, and get off the field. As Spickler in the gun yet again. Spickler has some time, takes a heave to Ronigan, who's open, end zone, touchdown! That goes 25 yards for the house call, and Spickler has a hat trick. 2 rushing and now 1 passing here for the QB.
I think the coverage initially was going to be good, and then we had some feet that might have gotten tripped up and went down. Just every single 3rd down play just seems to go. They're executing really well. They'll cover. The Raiders will have 2 of the 3 the 2 of the 3 receivers covered up, and there's one that's open on every single time.
As you look at it, a 8-play drive that ends up with a house call. Trace Spickler, 75 yards passing. Ronigan, 3 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. And the Titans have a 22-0 lead with just over 7 minutes to play in the first half. Spickler, shotgun, quick pass. Ronigan, end zone, 2-point conversion. He's in for the 2 points. And the Titans on top of 3 touchdowns are 3 for 3 from 2-point conversions. A new score on the City Hope scoreboard, 24-love in favor of the Titans.
Maple Valley Parents is a nonprofit organization whose main purpose is to promote, encourage, and support the Maple Valley students, teachers, and staff. MVP strives to strengthen and enhance the educational and social environment of the Maple Valley School District by providing opportunities for students, teachers, and parents to learn, socialize, communicate, and grow together. MVP Group welcomes anyone to join them in their mission. If you'd like to get involved or see upcoming events, check out the Maple Valley Parents Facebook page.
We always say we're a one-stop shop. North Star Ag is a full-service shoreline machinery dealership, so we have the 3 departments: sales, service, parts, fully staffed, have full inventory of all the parts and whole goods needed. We really value the service and the support that any traditional dealership would give you, but we specialize in shorelines. You can give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
As we come back here on YourLiveEvent.com, Chase Miller alongside Nathan Hoots and Joey Hughes with you here on this Friday night's 8-play drive that goes 3 minutes and 30 seconds, capped off by a Trace Spickler 25-yard passing touchdown to Ronigan and a 2-point conversion. And that's a sneaky stat where the Titans are 3 for 3 on the 2-point conversion. This one will be wrapped up by the freshman Torin Meester. And the Titans will give Maple River great starting field position. Again, this one will be right at about the 48-yard line.
Yeah, I've talked about that earlier. Execution in the red zone, execution on those 2-point conversions. We could also say execution on 3rd and long. The 3rd and long for Griggs has been just tremendous tonight.
As the Raiders looking to get something brewing offensively, as they will see this one, handoff, making a cut back in, and eventually getting about a yard or 2 will be Jen Zyrie, and they'll give him 3 yards on the rush. 5 carries now for 23 yards.
Looks like the Raiders are going to go a little no huddle or a little quicker, not jogging a guy over to get the call. I'm so used to Larry Fontaine being like 25 yards out onto the field, talking to his guy, and the ref looking at him like, it's not really cheating, but he's a long ways out there. It's not quite the same anymore with Coach Belke.
That's second down and 7. I'll ask you a question with where the time and the score is as well, Hoots, in terms of, is that in the back of your mind as a coach on either side after the play? Is Warren looking for a little counter play as he gets the first down? Ronigan will come up with the tackle. That's about a gain of 7. They'll move the sticks for a first down here as Warren 4 carries now for 9 yards. You look up at the score knowing, hey, if it gets to that 30 point, now you got a running clock to start that second half here, Hoots. Is that kind of going through your mind a little bit with where the score is right now?
Maybe not the running clock idea, but definitely we got to score here, and we don't move the ball, in giant chunks, so we might have to go a little quicker to make sure we can score here with 6 minutes left.
Jens Irie was able to deke and dive and do everything that he could, but eventually the pursuit by the second and third wave of the Titans gets home with Lane Ressler. He said his name a lot defensively. Toby Abraham's been everywhere as well, brings up 2nd and 10.
I think one thing that, the Titans might say, hey, we probably should clean up, they're not finishing tackles terribly often the first guy that's getting there. Now, you can be a bad first tackle team if you're a good gang tackling team, which they seem to be right now.
2nd and 10. This will be a fullback dive play, and eventually Charlie McCullough will get about a yard as he rolls his way. Watson Spickler in on the tackle, and it's a gain of 1 yard for a 3rd down and 9.
It's the first real downhill quick hitter they've run so far today.
As the Raiders right now quickly getting back to the line as McCoy Bierke giving the play call here to Jens Irie. He was talking with Brett Ingebretson on the last play. 3rd and 9. Handoff. Irie gets the boundary here. Irie makes a man miss at the 40, looking for a cut. Breaks a tackle 35-30. Cuts back 25-20. And the Raiders are in the red zone as he gets pushed out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
The most scary play as a defensive play caller or defensive player in 9-man football is the stretch one way, cut back downhill. And he really found one seam, and then it was, he had one guy to beat, and that guy took care of business. But big-time play on something that was pretty much blown up in the backfield.
As we get a timeout on the field, we'll break with them. 4:58 to play here in the first half. Raiders knocking on the door here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Let's talk about price. Yeah, we've heard it. Why would I pay more for Polar when Big Wireless is cheaper? Let's break it down. With us, you're not on hold with someone who's 3 states away. Your call goes to Kimberly, or Ashley, or Tamra, someone who lives right here. When your internet's down, we're not mailing you out a box. We're sending a real person, someone that knows your name and probably your dog's name too. So yeah, we're not the cheapest. We're the best experience. Polar Communications.
Longest play from scrimmage there, the 24-yard rush for Irie here for Maple River, and they will have it first down upcoming in the Titans red zone. A ball spotted at the 16-yard line. Just got to find a way to get in, but Hoots, a sneaky stat that we talked about earlier is the 2-point conversion, right? Because all of a sudden that's an additional 6 points for the Titans. What could be an 18-0 game is now 24-0 because they're 3 for 3 on 2 points.
Yeah, and, if you get 6 here instead of 8, you're still at a 3-possession game, which is, it's crazy.
First down and 10 here for Maple River. First things first, they're looking to get in the end zone. Trent Warren will keep it on a jet sweep here. Warren picks up a block to the 15, puts the helmet down, and he gets to the 15-yard line for about a gain of 1. Trace Spickler able to set the edge, brings up 2nd and 9.
The Titans are being stretched and stressed in multiple ways tonight. Not really through the air, but the quick counters, the quick hitters, they really got to be moving horizontally in a hurry, and they're doing a really good job of answering that tonight.
As we've seen a timeout called by Griggs-Midkota, now a timeout called by Maple River. We'll keep it here with 4:39 left to play in the first half. As you move through here, Hoots, let's talk about Griggs-Midkota defensively. What have they done well from your advantage point here in terms of forcing a couple of punts, a block punt, an interception, and as you said, maybe not having the first guy wrap up, but that second or third guy in terms of getting there on the pursuit, really making it difficult to find a lane here rushing the football for Maple River.
I think I'll just go a slightly different way. When you play a team that runs the ball, what are they, 90% run, 10% pass? Eye discipline. The 3 or 4 times the Raiders have dropped back on play action, they've had guys in coverage. They're not getting fooled going downhill and then all of a sudden having to throw on the brakes and turn and run and chase. They're doing a really good job of winning in the front two levels of defense. Their D linemen and their linebackers are winning. That allows their corners and safeties to play coverage and not necessarily have to be run defenders.
As we have one timeout remaining for both teams throughout the duration of this first half, Warren will keep this one, able to make a man miss. Warren keeps Sampaio moving to the 10, to the 8, and they're going to mark him down at about the 7-yard line. Nice rush there for Warren for a gain of 8.
I don't know if you had a better view. Was that a flip? Was that a toss?
It was a run.
Okay,
just
so
that
it was
quick
a
little
handoff?
back counter.
Okay,
Yep.
I wasn't sure if there was a little bit of a flip there or not.
Yep.
That was just looked a little different from my angle. I don't have a great angle right over here, but once again, the good quick hitters, they're doing a nice job of getting that backside lineman in front of that quick hitter and getting some movement.
This will be the first time we've seen the wishbone here tonight for Maple River, as they will hand this one off. Aiken will make a man miss, gets the first down, trying to poil into the end zone, and he's down at the 1 before the
We got a
fumble
touchdown
came
signal
out.
on this side.
Okay, they're going to stay on the near side that he was down before the ball came out, and the ball coming out was breaking the plane. So Charlie McCullough gets 8 yards for a nice fullback dive, rushing end zone.
It was definitely the ground that caused the fumble. His dive into the end zone, it definitely broke the plane, and then the ground popped it up in the air.
Able to make that one come through. So 3 minutes and 10 seconds comes off the clock, and 24-6. Able to make that way to come through on that 8-yard rushing touchdown. They'll go back to the wishbone formation yet again. Bierke under center. Hands this one off, making a man cut, and then just can't get anywhere. Was Jens Irie on that one, as he's going to be tackled at the 1. 2-point conversion's no good, but we have a new score. Raiders are on the board as they're trailing it 24-6.
Whether you're local or driving through Carrington, make sure to stop at the Prairie Inn restaurant. They have the best breakfast and coffee, but they also have some of the best dinner and supper entrees too. The Prairie Inn is your breakfast, dinner, and supper headquarters. Stop in and you can sink your teeth into some tasty sandwiches and soups, take a trip through the salad bar, and of course, the delicious pies, desserts, and milkshakes. Located right by the roundabout in Carrington, call 701-652-3976.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
For the Raiders, they get on the board for their 5th possession of the game. That goes 52 yards, takes up 3 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock on the 8-play drive, capped off on the attempt by, at that particular play call, the fullback for Charlie McCullough. The junior gets in for an 8-yard rushing touchdown, 2-point conversion, no good. But all of a sudden now the Raiders are stopping a score away from making this a 2-possession ball game. And we'll see the Raiders put this ball on the tee here this evening, as Chase Peterson, the freshman, will come on and put this one up at the 40. As Chase with a direct straight kick. Nice boot that makes its way to the 25. I'm going to take a hop there. Trey Spickler will pick it up at the 25-yard line, 30, 35, and he gets wrapped up by Warren at the 40. 5th possession upcoming for the Titans. Their 3rd of the quarter will be at the 40-yard line. And this has been a gashing offense so far, Hoots. So how do you try to make these 10, 12, 15-yard plays more like 5 or 6 yards plays for a Raider perspective?
First guy's got to make the tackle. And too often it's around the shoulder pads that they're making that first contact. They're getting there. But that's half the battle. And they gotta finish things off here, and you got to almost look at it. We need 2 stops probably before we see the ball again.
As they see it with Trey Spickler, 1st down and 10 for the Titans. They'll go under center, hand off to left-handed side, making his way through for 4 to 5 yards. Ticky on the tackle as Lane Ressler able to weave his way for 5.
You almost wonder if this is the 4-minute offense possession right here, where it's let's bleed this thing down. Let's make sure that we end the half with the ball. You know, whether we score or there's limited time left, and then we know we get the ball here to start the second half, that we can kind of put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, a double dip would be huge, right? Because if they get 6, all of a sudden you're up at least 30-6 before you get to the half, and how they're able to do so. Lane Ressler again looks to get to the outside, and Ressler's going to get wrapped up and tackled for about a yard. Good open field tackle by McCoy. Bierke makes it 3rd down and 4.
Inbounds there?
Inbounds.
Okay, excellent.
So the clock will continue on. Both teams again will have one timeout remaining. There's no 2-minute warning or 2-minute timeout, depending on if you're more of a college football or an NFL football fan. Don't have that yet in high school football. Will that come? Probably not.
If it comes, they better stopping the clock on first downs. Otherwise, we're going to be here till 10:30.
In terms if you get out of bounds.
Correct.
Yes. Third down upcoming and 4. High snap. Spickler able to keep it. Spickler looking for a crossing pattern. Complete at the 40. Down to the 38-yard line for Griggs-Midkota to Tristan Zahn. They'll mark it at the 38-yard line as it'll be a first down. And we'll take a timeout with an injured player. Back with more after this.
This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. The dog days of summer are here and harvest has begun. Please stay safe this season. Summer also means heavily discounted shop, seed meter, and planter inspection rates. Cash and early order discounts pair with $50 per row rebate offered on new systems. And don't forget the fantastic interest rates, including 0% for 1 year. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 with any questions or visit planterdoc.com.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
At Bank Forward, we understand ag. Many of our employees have deep agricultural roots and understand firsthand the ups and downs of farming and ranching. When you talk to us about your ag operation, you can trust we understand your language and the current state of agriculture. Stop in today and let's discuss your ag operations needs. Standing with ag producers. Since 1927, it's simply the Forward way.
As we come back here, they're looking at Trent Warren on the field. Good news, he's moving, but they're going to definitely assess where he was getting hit with the concussion protocol and today's day and age of football, where maybe you even saw, I think it was earlier this week, the CTE study that came out with football players that played in the NFL from about 2012 to 2016. There was a good percentage that had CTE in their brain at some time after going through the NFL, so that has just weaved its way down from college to high school and more. So good news, he's moving, but they're making sure all the protocols are going to be taken care of right now for Trent Warren. If you're just joining us, Griggs-Midkota took the opening score of the game with 4:02 left in the first quarter. Trey Spickler with an 8-yard rushing touchdown, able to get in the end zone and able to get the 2-point conversion as well. Griggs-Midkota added another 2-point score with 11:37 left to go in the second quarter. They got a 68-yard rushing touchdown from Trey Spickler. On the ground, Spickler to Ronigan for the 2-pointer, which made it 16-0 Titans. They added on another one with 7:07 left to go in the first half. Trey Spickler to Ronigan for 25 yards on the pitch and catch. Then it was those two on the 2-point conversion to make it 24-0. Raiders were able to answer back with a McCullough 8-yard rushing touchdown there from Charlie. 2-point conversion is no good, and that's how we have our 24-6 contest. We'll take a break. We'll continue with more after this. 2:36 left to go here in the opening half on the City of Hope scoreboard. It's the Griggs-Midkota Titans 24, the Maple River Raiders 6.
Looking for your next Chevrolet? Make the drive to Bissett Motors of Carrington, where great vehicles meet even greater customer service. Whether you're shopping for a rugged Chevy truck or a family SUV, their team is here to make buying easy, honest, and enjoyable. And long after you drive home, their expert service department is here to keep your vehicle running at its best, conveniently located right where you need them. Bissett Motors is proud to serve drivers throughout the area. Bissett Motors, your hometown destination for new and pre-owned vehicles. Bissett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Growing isn't just what happens in the field, it starts with a plan, the right seed, trusted advice, and a partner who's with you every step of the way. That's Brewer Seed and Egg. From planting through harvest, Brewer Seed and Egg is committed to helping your operation grow stronger, smarter, and more profitable. Because when your crops grow, so do the farms and the communities that they serve. Grow with confidence. Grow with Brewer Seed and Egg.
The Maple Valley School District is engaging students in a world-class education, preparing them for lifelong success. Maple Valley serves the surrounding communities of Buffalo, Fingal, Oriska, and Tower City with a grade student-to-teacher ratio per class. For more information, go online to myraiders.org. That's myraiders.org. The Maple Valley School District wishes the best to the Raiders coaches and athletes this season. Go Raiders!
At Sendak Cooperative, we are proud to be your trusted full-service grain, agronomy, and energy choice for our communities in central North Dakota. For all of your grain, agronomy, and energy decisions, they are proud to support our local farmers and communities we work and live in. With our state-of-the-art facilities and dedicated team, we ensure your farming operation will be looked at with care and efficiency. Whether you're looking for marketing decisions, agronomy needs, fuel for your operation, or a hot cup of coffee at their C-stores, Sendak Cooperative has you covered. Visit them online at sendakcooperative.com to learn more about how they can serve you. Sendak Cooperative, proud to serve our communities in central North Dakota.
As we continue here on yourliveevent.com, as they're making sure everything is good with Trent Warren as it currently stands right now, able to make the crossing pattern play was Tristan Zahn, and as he got tackled, it was by Trent Warren, who took more of the brunt of that particular play. And they're going to make sure everything is good to go for him right now, as they will bring the ambulance out there. We'll have the stretcher out as it stands right now here for Trent. Like we said earlier, the good news was he was moving his arms, he was moving his legs, but they have pretty much said until we can go through the proper testing and protocols as it stand right now, let's just make sure he's, as alert, but also not moving too many other extremities before they go through the proper testing here for Trent Warren. And for Trent Warren and this Maple River Raiders team, he had a kickoff return for a touchdown last week. A senior, one of two seniors here for the Maple River Raiders on the roster this season for head coach Sean Belke, with him and Owen Tickey right now. And they will be continuing to work on it, Trent Warren, as it stands here in Hope, North Dakota. Coming up at the half, we'll take a look at the first half numbers, your out-of-town scoreboard, and more, as this is one of 4 games on yourliveevent.com tonight. You have number 4 versus number 5 in the state, Bottineau and Northern Cass. Also from there, you have Dickinson and Fargo South, and Thompson and Hillsborough Central Valley. So we'll step aside for a little bit longer here in Hope, and then we'll wrap up our first half of play coming up around the corner. Griggs-Midkota 8 points in the first quarter of play, 16 so far here in the second, while for Maple River 6 points coming in the second quarter. We'll take a break, continue with more after this in Hope on yourliveevent.com.
Transform your home with Central City Lumber, your one-stop shop for all your home improvement needs. From showplace cabinets, stylish flooring, and Valspar paint, they have everything you need to bring your vision to life. Their expert team is here to help you choose the perfect materials and provide expert advice for your project. Plus, they build custom portable homes that can be moved anywhere in North Dakota. Visit Central City Lumber in Carrington today and see why they're the go-to destination for home improvement. Central City Lumber, quality you can build on.
At Central Pharmacy, we're more than just a pharmacy. We're your neighborhood destination for healthcare, home decor, and clothing. Pick up your prescriptions, then see what else we have to offer. With 2 convenient locations, we're always close by when you need us. Visit us in Carrington, where you'll find everything from everyday medications to one-of-a-kind gifts. Or stop by our New Rockford store, offering fast service, personal care, and that perfect item for any occasion. Central Pharmacy, 2 locations, 1 mission, caring for you every day.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions today and beyond with the Drain Tile Project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and RJBroadcasting.com, local voices from local radio.
High school football here on YourLiveEvent.com. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Joey Hughes, and all the attention, and rightfully so, is on Trent Warren as they have him on the stretcher right now, and they will be taking him into the ambulance as the Raiders will come out and make sure he is going to be all right with his fellow teammates as it stands right now. And these are situations with high school sports that doesn't matter the severity of it, whether it's just a twisted ankle or a twisted wrist to something maybe a little bit more severe. Obviously, the one word that has been coming to mind in recent years is ACL injuries with a lot of folks. Concussions to the MCLs are certain things that you hear, but also to someone who's a senior, both in terms of just their quality of life, but what they're doing right now. So he's going to be taken off the field here. He gives a thumbs up and also a little Hawaiian wave, if you will, where the thumb is going to be making its way and back and forth as it stands, as Brett Engelbrecht's in the white hat's going to come to the press box. As they're talking about is what this will be halftime as it stands. So this will be what halftime will be right now. So it's going to be halftime as it stands. They'll play 2 minutes and 36 seconds, and then they'll take a 3-minute break and then go into the third quarter. So right now this will be halftime as they have gone on to the ambulance with the amount of time that was stopped for this respective injury from Trent Warren. I think the best news out of everything that we saw is when he did come off the field being stretched, he did have a thumbs up, and he gave like a little Hawaiian back and forth with his left hand as well. And good news, we are seeing some smiles down there from some of the administrators that were down here. So that's about the best positive news. Looks like Trent's in good spirits. He'll be taken off in an ambulance. We'll take a break. We'll get to our halftime show. Make sure everything's good with Trent moving forward and keep him in our best wishes and thoughts. But again, when he left the gurney, gave a thumbs up as he will be just checked out for all the protocols moving forward here, as we'll continue with more after this on YourLiveEvent.com.
Every jersey has a number, and behind every number is a dream. A future teacher, an electrician, a nurse, a farmer, and a business owner. Maybe even tomorrow's community leader.
If we can make that happen, then we've done our job. At Dakota Heritage Bank, we're proud to invest in the people behind the dreams.
For more information, visit www.dhb.bank. Dakota Heritage Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
Enbridge's Indigenous Reconciliation Action Plan is a promise and a commitment to listening and learning from the lived experiences of Indigenous people and applying that knowledge with action to forge a path towards reconciliation, towards building a future increasingly inclusive and respectful of Indigenous rights, values, and heritage. Learn more about how Enbridge is making good on that promise at enbridge.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ. 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
At Gar Dental Center, dentistry is about people first. They're proud to offer exceptional care to Carrington and the surrounding areas. Meet Dr. Gar and Dr. Sam and their dedicated team of dental professionals. Gar Dental is your home for dental implants, along with a wide variety of services, including guided biofilm therapy. Their experienced dental team is here to ensure you smile with confidence. Visit them at gardental.com or call 701-652-2300 to schedule an appointment today.
See you soon.
So welcome to halftime, even though we haven't officially reached 24 minutes here in terms of this respective nine-man football game. If you're just joining us after a deep first down completion with 3:52 to start the drive to about the 2-minute mark is when that happened. When Zahn got the completion, Warren came out of the game. He left on an ambulance. Good News again gave a thumbs up. I think the word that they're going to use just in any situation is making sure that he's okay. They're going to test, do everything that he needs to do. Short term, not returning obviously to this game for one of your two seniors and a dynamic player in Trent Warren. Long term, you're hoping he can maybe do everything well enough this week. Can he come back next week for Tri-State or the following week on the farther side? But Hoots, you were there. Good news. They did everything you need to do. That's why you have an ambulance. That's why you have an on-site trainer in these athletic events. The one thing, though, is it is a little bit different from a coaching perspective because both for Ryan Doctor and for Sean Belke, your mind is one place, your mind is another, and now all of a sudden, because of the length of time, they're going to take a halftime break. They're going to do the full 12. We'll come back. We'll finish off the last 2 minutes and change of the first half. Then we'll have a 3-minute break before we go to the third quarter. So a little disjointed moving forward for the rest of tonight until we kind of get to that official third quarter as it stands right now.
Yeah, I think, before we get there, I'll shout out to the Hope Ambulance crew and our trainer here. Trent wanted to get up, and they did not allow that to happen. They did a fantastic job of getting him stabilized, and they didn't there were a couple of things that had to be adjusted, and they didn't just rush it. They did a great job of making sure that everything was done really, really well. I've fortunately only been a part of that one time, and they did a really, really good job of getting him out of here. And the word that was down here was precautionary several different times, which is, it's a good word to hear. And then, coaching perspective, this is more of a, it's really hard. You got to try to refocus the guys. Trent's a popular kid. He's probably a captain on this team, and he's a senior, and he lives in the area, and everybody likes him. It's more of a refocusing minds rather than making X's and O's changes right now. And you wonder when you come back out, there's a couple different ways that this can go. Your guys are really fired up, and you're playing for your buddy. Or, your mind is elsewhere and your focus isn't where it needs to be, and a good team on the other end of the field is going to be able to take advantage of it. So it's going to be an interesting last couple of minutes of the second quarter, if you will, and then beginning of the second half. It's definitely going to be important here for everybody to step up and stay focused.
And a reminder, Griggs-Midkota is not going to have a kickoff. They're going to start with the football in Raider territory, Hoots. So as you go 1st and 10, ball was roughly at around the 35-yard line here with just over 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Biggest thing is what, from a Titans point of view and a Raiders point of view, we'll start with the team that's leading in Griggs-Midkota. How can you just keep the wheels on the track, if you will, and just keep it humming along and try to put that ball in the end zone, get up 30-6 or 32-6, and then all of a sudden see how much time you have left in the first half. And if you do drain the timeout, you alluded to this before the injury, you can double dip because you get the ball to start the second half. So if you get 6 on top of 6, all of a sudden now you're talking about mercy time. So what does Griggs-Midkota just need to continue to do from your point of view?
And I was a run first play caller. I think they liked the way that possession was moving. It was 4 or 5 yards, another 4 or 5 yards, and then they took a little chunk play over the middle that ended the play here temporarily. I could see that continuing. They look to run the ball, maybe shorten the number of possessions here. Get into the end zone is the goal here in the next 2.5 minutes to finish this quarter. and I could see a lot of run first action here, and then if necessary, they get Spickler out on the edge and let him make plays like he has for the first 20 plus minutes of this game, and just try to shorten possessions. Is if you're up already is kind of the goal.
As you look through it from the Raiders' perspective, we talked about in the pregame show, Sean Belke in the first half of play too, right? Tackling, making sure that if you're the first guy there, at least getting a hit to allow that second or third guy come, which is what Griggs-Midkota has done. If that first guy hasn't got there and wrapped him up, he's had the second or third come through, or sometime the Raiders, you miss. Well, you don't allow that second or third guy to get there before he's shifting either left, right, or right up the middle here, Hoot. So outside of tackling, what do the Raiders need to do on their side of the field?
I think it's their downhill pursuit by their linebackers. They're kind of playing on their heels. They understand that there might be an athleticism edge on the other side of the field, and they're backpedaling on their first step rather than downhill. There's anytime the Raiders are getting some defensive line pressure, the second line of defense, the linebackers aren't quite filling as aggressively as you'd like to see them, pursue. But when you have an athletic quarterback and they have a nice play action attack, that's how you get those linebackers to be taking a half a step back and rocking backwards rather than going forward on their first step.
As you look at some of the first half numbers so far, Griggs-Midkota, 215 yards of offense, 90 through the air with 125 on the ground. Maple River, 72 yards of offense, minus 10 passing, 82 on the ground as it stands right now with one turnover. No turnovers for the Titans. Griggs-Midkota, 2 penalties for 15 yards. Maple River, 2 for 20. Trace Spickler is 6 of 7 for 90 yards passing and a passing touchdown as well. He currently has 197 yards of total offense with 170 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns as well. Ronigan, 3 receptions for 48 yards and a score. While for Maple River, Jens Irie, 7 carries for 47 yards. Trent Warren, 6 for 18 yards on the ground. Charlie McCullough got the 8-yard rushing touchdown, 3 carries for 9 yards. And Bierke, 4 carries for 8 yards. Bierke through the air so far is 2 for 5, but for minus 10 yards and an interception. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the second half of play coming up around the scoreboard. Your out-of-town scoreboard. That and more still to come here tonight from Hope. It's Griggs-Midkota 24, Maple River 6 on your live event.
Hometown Community Bank serves both the Hope Page and Maple Valley School Districts in Page and Fingal, North Dakota. If you're interested in an ag loan, real estate, consumer, commercial, or HELOC, give Dwight a call at either branch location. Reach out to Janine about investing in a certificate of deposit or save by opening a money market account. Proudly supporting the Maple River Raiders and wishing the athletes and coaches a successful year. Hometown Community Bank is an equal housing lender and member of the FDIC.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
As we continue here on yourliveevent.com, this is high school football here tonight on your live event. As we take a look at your out-of-town scoreboard here this evening, In Region 1A football, Hankinson leads over Richland. 44-0 late in the first half of play. Hankinson over Richland. Wyoming Lidgewood over Hatton Northwood, 28-0. 11 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Warbirds right now making a good statement over Hatton Northwood, up 28 rip. South Border leads Enderlin at the half, 22-14. And then Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion all over Tri-State, 50-0 here at the half for the Lobos over the Tri-State Tigers. That's a look at your 9-man football scores. Local Area 1A football scores. A good game. Bottineau and Northern Cass tied at 14 apiece at the half between Bottineau and Northern Cass. Also from there, Sargent County over Carrington, 14-love at the half. Hillsborough Central Valley Thompson tied at 6 apiece after one half of play. Grafton over Mayport CG, 8-0. And Lisbon leads Park River Area 14-8 starting the second half of play. AA football, Central Cass over Watford City, 21-0. For the Central Cass Squirrels and Devils Lake and Kindred. It's Kindred 21-0 over the Devils Lake Firebirds at the half. West Fargo Horace leads Red River 28-14 as it currently stands. And Mandan all over North, 33-6 going into the fourth quarter of play. That's a look at some of your out-of-town scores. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll finish the remaining 1st and 10 part of the last 2 minutes of the second quarter. We'll take a quick break and then get ready for the second half. We'll continue with more after this here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hopepage.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
In the heart of North Dakota, James River Ag is proud to serve New Rockford and surrounding communities. Since 2017, founder Taylor Keplin and his team have delivered trusted agronomy solutions, premium seed, and expert spraying on the ground and in the air. They go the extra mile because your farm is more than a business, it's a way of life. They are your partner and will help you make informed decisions and stay ahead of the challenges every season brings. James River Ag. Quality products, trusted service. Let's grow together.
Maple River Raider fans, it's game time. Your high school athletes are giving it their all, and they need you in the stands, on the sidelines, and behind the scenes. So grab your gear, bring the noise, and show your Raider pride all season long. Let's rally behind the Raiders and make a difference.
Third and a long 10, looking to throw. Bjerke coming across, got a man at the 5 into the end zone, touchdown Raiders! The junior Trent Warren with a house call of 21 yards.
Raider fans, we appreciate your support on the field. Go Raiders!
As we continue here in Hope, North Dakota, Griggs-Midkota 24, Maple River 6 as it stands. So we will, after Trent Warren was taken off the field, we will head and finish the conclusion of this first half of play with Griggs-Midkota on the previous play, getting a nice little crossing pattern to Zahn. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 39. And then after this quarter wraps up, we'll have a quick little brief pause between the second and the third quarter. So halftime's already done, but we still have to finish the first half. As we said, your bingo card was wrapping up early with a fumble, with a block punt. A little bit of everything here on the home opener for Maple River, as they will make sure they got the clock set to go. And then we're back to business as stands, as they're going to make sure they put it back to where it was prior to the injury. And then we're going to get back to business here at Griggs-Midkota. Trey Spickler has been definitely the marquee so far with 3 touchdowns, a couple rushing and 1 passing, 2:36 to play here in this second quarter play. He had 7 touchdowns against Tri-State. Spickler looking for the QB keeper, able to get to the boundary. 35 has some daylight in front of him. 30, 25, 20, rolls his way back inside of the 10 to the 5. He hot steps into the end zone. Yes, sir! Make it a 4-pack for Spickler with a 39-yard rushing touchdown, and Griggs-Midkota takes a 30-6 lead.
Yeah, that's quite the answer out of that lengthy break. Just doing what they did, run power right, power left, and they got a lot of guys out in front and 1 missed tackle, and that's usually dangerous in 9-man football.
Nearly a 40-yard rushing touchdown here for Spickler. 8 carries for 146 yards and 3 scores right now here for Spickler. as the Titans looking to get this 2-point conversion and make it a 32-6 game. Remind you, both teams with one timeout remaining for the conclusion of this first half. Spickler shotgun with some time. Spickler out to the flat and wide open for the 2-point conversion, as that one will make its way to the outside, as that looks to be Dominic Ressler. We'll continue with more after this. Griggs-Midkota right now leads it 32-6.
At Bank North, we strive to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. One transaction, one relationship, and one community at a time. We do it by supporting kids and schools, pitching in to help neighbors in need, partnering with rural businesses, and providing all the traditional and modern banking products and personalized lending services you expect from a reliable financial partner. Bank North, always true.
A foundation forged in their grandfather's shop. Martin's Welding and Machine of Glenfield creates custom parts for farmers and ranchers to solutions for local residents and growing businesses. They're also your certified dealer and installer for PowerLift hydraulic doors. Designed for strength, sealed for North Dakota weather. Custom designed and built for your door size. Call 701-785-2555 or visit martinswelding.com. Serving all of North Dakota and beyond. Martin's Welding and Machine. Matt and Mike will make it right.
As we're back here on YourLiveEvent.com, 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half, as another touchdown by Spickler. As after the opening fumble for the Titans, it's been 4 straight touchdowns, all with Spickler's hands, with 3 rushing and 1 passing. One went to Ronigan. That one's going to be picked up by the up man. That'll be Ian Lark. Lark making a cutback to the 45-yard line before he's tackled by the opposite 3 in Tristan Zahn. And that's where the Raiders will start with 2:15 remaining here, and what kind of feels like a gotta-have-it drive from a Raiders perspective.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the changes are for the Raiders. It was the safety McCullough moved up to play corner and brought in a new safety. Haven't quite identified the new Raider in as of yet.
As they'll come into the game here for Maple River, Aiden Hannig again will play up front. We'll see in the backfield Jens Irie as they'll make their way through as well with Ian Lark. Handoff, Irie trying to spin to the outside or break a tackle. He gets 2 yards on the play, brings up 2nd and 8.
Looks like Ray Olstead came in and he's slid into the tight end spot, and then they moved Lark into the spot that Warren was at, it appears.
So they come through about, 20 Raiders on the roster this year. Griggs-Midkota, they warmed up with about 16. Had a couple of guys out with sickness and or injury here this season for Coach Ryan Doctor. Pitch play. This one will go back out to Jens Irie. Irie to the 45. Irie trying to make a man miss, and Trey Spickler able to wrap him up at about the 47-yard line, right back to the line. It's 3rd and 8.
Once again, the story of the game has been if they're able to seal that edge, good things have been happening for the Raiders, but too often it's been the Titans winning that battle to the outside shoulder. He who wins that battle typically wins the game.
And the Raiders quickly get into line with the time of the score as well late here in this first half, trying to see if they can move the sticks. Griggs-Midkota is going to rush for. Bierke steps up off his back foot, throws it across the middle, incomplete. And 2 wide receivers that were in the same vicinity, with Ian Lark being one of those and Aiden Hannig, and off his back foot makes it 4th down and 8.
It just seems like, there's too much pressure. He's not an inexperienced quarterback because he played last year, but every time he feels pressure, it is off of that back foot, and he's got a good arm. The ball can come out, he can really spin it, but when you throw it over the middle off your back foot, as a Vikings fan, I know all too well about what happens.
We won't talk about the Superdome. 1:06 left to play here in the second quarter. 32-6 in favor of Maple River.
Maple Valley Parents is a nonprofit organization whose main purpose is to promote, encourage, and support the Maple Valley students, teachers, and staff. MVP strives to strengthen and enhance the educational and social environment of the Maple Valley School District by providing opportunities for students, teachers, and parents to learn, socialize, communicate, and grow together. MVP Group welcomes anyone to join them in their mission. If you'd like to get involved or see upcoming events, check out the Maple Valley Parents Facebook page.
As you see high school football here today on YourLiveEvent.com, an interesting dilemma, Hoots, right? If you kick the ball off for a punt. Maybe you get 15, 20, 30 yards or so, but you can allow Trace Spickler, who's a good returner, to get his hand on the football. If you go for it and don't get it, well, then all of a sudden you give the Titans really great field position with about a minute to play and a timeout in their pocket to try to get this north of 30, and then you'd have running time starting that second half play with the Titans with the football. So is this a must-go-for-it situation?
I think it probably is. You're also throwing a wrench into your punt everything, like all of your special teams that Warren was a big part of. Now you're throwing a guy in that probably hasn't gotten as many reps as everybody else throughout the entire fall camp.
It looks like they're going to go for it here for McCoy Bierke. High snap that goes over his head. Bierke going to pick it up at the 30-yard line now, trying to make something out of nothing, and Bierke makes a couple of guys miss, and he gets to about the 38-yard line, so that'll be a loss of nearly 10. 10 seconds does come off the clock, but Griggs-Midkota will take great real estate here late in the first half.
Yeah, now you gotta be able to manufacture a pass rush here, and then you gotta play coverage. The best way to cover up someone that hasn't played a ton this year on the back end is you got to get home with your front three here and try to force a bad throw, maybe a coverage sack of some sort.
Second quarter of play on the positive 38-yard line here for Griggs-Midkota. Their best starting field position was at the Raiders' 34 to open up a drive. First and 10, one timeout remaining. Clock stops if you get the first or you get out of bounds. Spickler steps up at the 40. Spickler, 35. Spickler makes a man miss, 25-20. Spickler cuts back to the 15. Look at Spickler go, and he walks into the end zone for a touchdown. It's Spickler's world, and we're just living in it. A 38-yard score here for Trace Spickler as he has his fourth rushing touchdown of the night.
That guy is just flat dangerous in the open field. He does such a good job of making that first guy miss, and I say it over and over again in nine-man football, there's just not many guys left. If you beat the first line of defense and you make the first guy miss, it is a house call more often than not.
184 yards rushing on 9 attempts and 4 touchdowns. I think I got Spickler on my fantasy 9-man team here in North Dakota as it stands right now, because he has 5 touchdowns tonight. He has 12 in 6 quarters this season. Spickler, 2-point conversion, no good, as they're looking for Zahn and an out pattern. But a new score, 43.8 to play here in the second quarter. Titans lead at 38-6.
We always say we're a one-stop shop. North Star Ag is a full-service shoreline machinery dealership, so we have the 3 departments: sales, service, parts, fully staffed, have full inventory of all the parts and whole goods needed. We really value the service and the support that any traditional dealership would give you, but we specialize in shorelines. You can give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
Let's talk about price. Yeah, we've heard it. Why would I pay more for Polar when Big Wireless is cheaper? Let's break it down. With us, you're not on hold with someone who's 3 states away. Your call goes to Kimberly, or Ashley, or Tamra, someone who lives right here. When your internet's down, we're not mailing you out a box. We're sending a real person, someone that knows your name and probably your dog's name too. So yeah, we're not the cheapest. We're the best experience. Polar Communications.
Game that kicked off back at 7 o'clock tonight here on YourLiveEvent.com. It's the Maple River Raiders and the Griggs-Midkota Titans here. 43.8 seconds left to play in the first half. Spickler with another touchdown here as they will put the ball on the tee for Griggs-Midkota, as they will. They will do it here with Singletary, and we've seen Singletary with a lot of just squib kicks that go 10 to 20 yards. Here will be another high hopper that goes about 20 yards. And Lark's going to run into his own man, but cuts back to the 50-yard line. And Lark will handle it right in front of us at about the 47 with 38.1 to play in the half.
I think you might as well take 2 or 3 big shots here and see what happens. The problem with that is that, yeah, you want to take those shots and go deep downfield, but your offensive line has not provided a ton of protection for the quarterback, and he's kind of been under duress. And when you don't throw the ball a ton, sometimes you make bad decisions under duress.
And for the Titans right now, they're 38.1 from taking a short halftime breather and getting back on the field to get the ball offensively. Well, like you said, Hoots, if you're the Raiders, you got to find a way to get this with under 30 points, and we'll get a flag, and this looks to be on the Raiders. As we'll see this going 5 yards back. It'll be a false start. Third penalty of the night for the Raiders for 25 yards. Maple River will have a home game next week against Tri-State before going to Richland. While for Griggs-Midkota next week, they will host the Richland Colts and make their way down to Hendrickson Field and play at Enderlin 2 weeks from today. First down and 15 for the Raiders. They'll come out in the pistol formation as you have Bierke alongside with Jens Irie in the backfield. Trips near side, one to the right. See if Griggs-Midkota with those three-man front or they bring a little pressure as they will bring three. They fake it. Bierke with a pump fake has some daylight in front of him. They're going to make a throw down the field. Incomplete. Spinning the wheels a little bit there was Lucas Keeney as he beat his secondary, but by the time he came back, kind of spun his feet there, Hoots, to get that possession and try to make a play on the attempt on the football.
Yeah, you know, that's the freshman stepping in for Trenton Warren right there. He ran a good route and got himself open. It's just, you know, you probably don't get a whole lot of reps in practice as a freshman playing behind a senior. And just, you know, first time that you're fielding or looking and trying to find a ball in the lights can be difficult. But step one is getting open. Okay, he can work on the step 2 and 3 of, you know, catching and finishing the play as he gets older.
As you see, second down and 15, 28.4 to play here. As they got to get set. As they do, they get the play off with about 2 seconds left on the play clock. There's the pass incomplete, looking for the boundary on the far sideline, looking for Charlie McCullough, and it's 3rd and 15.
Once again, had the guy open, just wasn't able to execute the throw on the run. And you know, as the reps continue throughout the year, that'll get easier for him, and he'll be able to make that play here in the next week or two.
So 3rd down and long upcoming for the Raiders. They will need the Titans' 37-yard line for the first down. Griggs-Midkota has erupted here in this second quarter play after scoring 8 points in the first quarter. They've added 30 here so far in the quarter, and if the Raiders don't get a first down here, they might give the ball back to the Titans to have one more chance at it.
You almost want to maybe consider running the ball here to make sure you don't give them too much time. They've scored in the last 2 plays.
There's Bierke looking to throw. This one's going to get picked off at the 38-yard line by Zahn. Zahn makes his way to the 50, 45, and Zahn will be into Raider territory at the 43-yard line. Second pick of the night for McCoy Bierke. Zahn will come up with the INT. That's his first of the evening. And now the Titans have at least 1, if not 2 plays remaining here in this first half.
Yeah, now it's the same thing, same situation we had 45 seconds ago in game time. You got to be able to, you know, somehow get home, and the first guy that's got an opportunity to take number 7 down, they have got to execute.
Third time that the Titans have started in positive north of the 50 into Raider territory here in for Spickler. I'm not sure what you want to do. Take the legs away or take the arm away? He's been able to do both here this season with 13.1 seconds left to go here in the half. Spickler hands this ball off. This will be a little trap play up the middle for a handful of yards on the play. That goes to about the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 4 as Spickler was able to make that handoff as that eventually went to 35 here with Watson Spickler. So Watson Spickler able to make his way, and that is the 7th player here for Griggs-Midkota that will finish with a rush here this evening. We'll have a brief halftime break. We'll come back with more around the corner and get you to the third quarter next here on yourlivevent.com.
Whether you're local or driving through Carrington, make sure to stop at the Prairie Inn restaurant. They have the best breakfast and coffee, but they also have some of the best dinner and supper entrees too. The Prairie Inn is your breakfast, dinner, and supper headquarters. Stop in and you can sink your teeth into some tasty sandwiches and soups. Take a trip through the salad bar and, of course, the delicious pies, desserts, and milkshakes. Located right by the roundabout in Carrington. Call 701-652-3976.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the 3-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. The dog days of summer are here and harvest has begun. Please stay safe this season. Summer also means heavily discounted shop, seed meter, and planter inspection rates. Cash and early order discounts pair with $50 per row rebate offered on new systems. And don't forget the fantastic interest rates, including 0% for 1 year. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 with any questions or visit planterdoc.com.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
As we continue here on YourLiveEvent.com, Griggs-Midkota so far here in this one, they've been able to put the ball in the end zone a handful of times, 4 rushing touchdowns for Trace Spickler. 5 scores with Spickler to Ronigan. He's got 5 touchdowns here tonight. And also the 2-point conversions have been awfully efficient here this evening for the Titans. Part of the reason why they will have a running clock to begin this second half of play, and they will start with the football as well. A modified halftime show after we had that break as we had the injury earlier in the first half. So with that, the nighttime skies pretty much making way here for a nice evening at the end of August. And then get you ready. College football already getting underway. UND looked very impressive in the first half against the Long Island Sharks with 42 points to 0. Valley City State gave a good battle with Southwest Minnesota State down at Marshall, losing by 3 points yesterday. If you haven't checked out Augustana's game last night, that was like college football on easy. There was over, I think, 1,300 yards of offense, and it was a 62-58 kind of a game last night for Division II football from Sioux Falls. So if you want to search like a box score that looks like it's coming from Madden or College Football 27, I would suggest searching Augustana Vikings. It's worth your time.
All right.
As we come back here on YourLiveEvent.com after the brief break, again with the 30-plus point lead, so it'll be running time here for the Titans in the second half, unless the Raiders can get a quick stop and put the ball in the end zone to open up this one off. So the Titans in their whites, the Raiders in their all blues.
Reminder to please turn off your headlights.
NDSU football will have their FBS opener coming up tomorrow against Jacksonville State. Saw a couple of Jack State fans roaming the north side of Fargo earlier today. A 4-pack of them, as this one will be on the tee by Peterson. Good boots as it's going to make its way to Trace Spickler at the 17-yard line. Spickler's got a crease. Look out. Spickler to the 40. Spickler to the 50. Here comes a flag. Oh, that was a great flag by Brent Engelbrants, and that went about 40 yards by our white hat from the 10 to about the 40. This one's coming back, and we'll see where the Titans will start with the football.
I got him for a 28-yard toss.
28-yard toss.
I was a little worried when that tackle occurred in the middle of the field that no one was going to see it, and he wound up, crow-hopped, and fired it.
Can we put the Olympics like a new sport in terms of throwing a flag? Is that a possibility?
I mean, I got the American representative.
3 penalties for 15, make it 25 yards. Brent Engelbretts was pretty good on that one from his back pocket to heave and chuck.
He's got a smirk on his face. He knew he let it fly.
Oh, for sure. First down and 10 upcoming here for the Griggs-Midkota Titans as they will open up this second half with the ball. And they bookended it with a fumble. They just ran the ball up the middle, finished off the half, but have 5 touchdowns in between. The 6'1" senior Trace Spickler has been the marquee here tonight. 38 points for Griggs-Midkota coming off a 48-point performance against Tri-State last week, in which they were able to win against Tigers. Get to about the 37-38-yard line on the rush here is Lane Wrestler. So a nice rush for Wrestler for about 9 yards. And again, with this respective score, whether you go out of bounds or get a first down or not, the clock will continue to wind up by 30.
Yeah, and I could see them giving the ball, handing it off. You probably don't want Seven taking too many hits here in the second half. He's proved his mettle and how important he's going to be for this team the rest of the year. Probably just You know, like I said before, try to shorten this game here in the second half and don't let them take too many hits.
Well, if you're Griggs-Midkota, just looking at the schedule, some years you say, do you think it's front-loaded? Do you think it's back-loaded? Well, for Griggs-Midkota, for what teams did last year into this year, it is back-loaded. So trying to pick up some wins early on here as Spickler gives this one through and bumbling, and stumbling his way is Dominic Ressler for 10 yards.
If you're able to win the line of scrimmage battle, I love that little flip play there, because worst-case scenario, if it hits the ground, it's an incomplete pass. But when you're winning the battle up front every single possession, you know that there's not going to be any traffic in the backfield. You're allowed to get that little flip, and then you just get that extra momentum going forward with that guy already on the run.
As that one makes its way for a healthy 10 yards on the pitch and catch. And like Hoot said, that's just an easy toss in the backfield all day there for Spickler. 1st and 10. Play action. This might be a little bit more of a broken play, and Spickler going to get wrapped up in the backfield by a host of Raiders. Ticky was part of that tackle for a loss. That'll be a loss of 1.
Yeah, good job winning the battle up front right after I said that they really haven't lost or won a battle pretty much all game. Did a good job of answering the bell there, but like you said, it was probably some type of a miscommunication or something to do with the quarterback exchange.
After they play Richland and Enderlin, then Griggs-Midkota has Hatton Northwood, the Lobos, Wymer-Lidgewood, South Border, and Hankinson. And with how we've seen the box scores from earlier tonight and also yesterday, that's going to be a gauntlet of 5 weeks at the end of the season here for the Titans. As here goes Ressler. Ressler makes his way past the 40. Looks like he gets the first down here. They're going to mark him at the 39, so it's a gain of 12.
Yeah, when you talk about that gauntlet at the end, obviously winning is the most important thing to do every single Friday, but a very, very close second is everybody walking through that handshake line, not hobbling, nothing feeling too funny, and just staying healthy throughout that time so that you can go into those battles week after week after week as healthy as possible.
3 minutes off the clock so far here in the third quarter on the City of Hope scoreboard. Work and play in Hope, North Dakota from job listings and housing options. You can go to hopend.com. Again, it's hopend.com. 1st down and 10 for the Titans opening drive of the second half as this one goes to Ressler one more time, and Maple River coming up high and bring him down is Lucas, the freshman.
Yeah, Lucas Kenny, nice play. Went right down the line of scrimmage. He realized the quarterback didn't have it and immediately turned his hips and ran parallel to the line of scrimmage, which is a great thing to do as a young guy. And I think he knew he wasn't going to take him down, so he just kind of jumped on board and used gravity.
Yeah, if you can't go for the ankles, if you will, right, tackle him up and then bring your body down, even though you can't have like the hip tackle, which is getting outlawed, obviously, in the NFL, but that was more of a shoulder pad and bring him down tackle.
See, now the thing to do is when you see a freshman at D-end who just made a play going down the line of scrimmage, you read him, and then you attack that area and try to take advantage of his inexperience and his aggression. 2nd
down and 10. Spickler in the gun. We'll have some time to throw. Has a man wide open down the field, and this one could go to the 10, to the 5. It's a 39-yard end zone pitch and catch as that goes to Dominic Ressler for 39 yards.
Did a good job protecting him again. One guy got through, but he doesn't really ever, just kind of unleash the cannon, so to speak. He just feathers the ball over the top of the defenders and hits guys in stride every single time.
And right now, 322 yards of total offense for Trace Spickler. And he's got 6 touchdowns, 4 rushing, and he's got 2 passing here tonight. And a 2-point conversion will be upcoming as well here for Spickler. As we'll see this 2-point conversion upcoming. Shotgun formation for Trace. High snap. Spickler trying to pick the ball up, and this one is going to be down. And the 2-point conversion's no good. But with 7:01 left to go in the third quarter, it's a new score on the City Hope scoreboard. 44-6 in favor of Griggs-Midkota.
At Bank Forward, we understand ag. Many of our employees have deep agricultural roots and understand firsthand the ups and downs of farming and ranching. When you talk to us about your ag operation, you can trust we understand your language and the current state of agriculture. Stop in today and let's discuss your ag operations needs. Standing with ag producers. Since 1927, it's simply the forward way.
Looking for your next Chevrolet? Make the drive to Bissett Motors of Carrington, where great vehicles meet even greater customer service. Whether you're shopping for a rugged Chevy truck or a family SUV, their team is here to make buying easy, honest, and enjoyable. And long after you drive home, their expert service department is here to keep your vehicle running at its best, conveniently located right where you need them. Bissett Motors is proud to serve drivers throughout the area. Bissett Motors, your hometown destination for new and pre-owned vehicles. Bissett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Back in Hope here on YourLiveEvent.com. Chase Miller, Joey Hughes, Nathan Hoots roaming the sidelines with us here tonight as always. In Hope, 5th year of the co-op for the Raiders. For Griggs-Midkota, the Titans under Ryan Doctor doing a nice job. You take a look at what they've been able to do in recent years here for the Titans. Last year, 3-5, but 2 years ago, the Region 2 champs when you had 8 regions. They went 6-3, lost to Weimar-Lidgewood in the second round of the postseason. That's after 2023, a 1-7 year. So some success in this Titans program and looking to open up the year 2-0 this season. This one's going to get caught here by the Raiders on the fly. They get to about the 48-yard line after Charlie McCullough with a 12-yard return, and they will start in positive territory.
Yeah, now I'm looking for some little things. See if you can build on anything here to move forward in the upcoming weeks. You're going to get some guys in positions that are mildly unfamiliar to them. Depends, you're going to find out how much do they get to rep things in practice outside of their normal 9. And it becomes really difficult for a coach because you want to get your guys into a flow, but you also have to find that who's that guy that can come in and play 6 positions on the field if someone goes down.
McCoy Bierke will come out as making his way out to left will be Charlie McCullough. You have Ian Lark now on the right with Jens Irie. Handoff. Going to spin. Irie looking to get to the outside, and Griggs-Midkota, as they've done, have pursuit of the football. This one's loose on the turf. It looks like Bierke might have got the ball back. The Titans are pointing that they have it, and it will be Griggs-Midkota football. Turnover, third of the game here for Maple River. 2 interceptions and now a fumble. And as we talked about the pursuit by the Titans, even though they might not get home on the first one, that second and third guy get their hoots and eventually cause the fumble, and they get on the ball for the third turnover of the game.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, not great at the first guy making the tackle, but they're a good team tackling group. And you applaud the effort there by Irie. You look at the scoreboard and the situation that's happened tonight, and maybe you just let that first guy take you down, but he did not stop fighting. You'd like to see obviously the ball security a little bit better, but at least he was fighting for every yard that he could possibly get at this point in the game.
As Griggs-Midkota will come out, 2 wide receivers near sideline as Spickler wants to go under center as it stands right now for the Titans. Able to have Jesse in the backfield. I'll hand this one off to him, and this will go for about a yard loss as Wessel's going to lose a yard.
Tell you what, Lucas Kenny hasn't played a whole lot tonight up until, this, I guess, second half. He's been a part of a lot of different plays thus far. He had that opportunity to make a play here as a receiver. He just, I think, played a little bit of D-end on this side after playing D-end on the opposite side on the last possession. There's a motor there that can't be taught, and I think Coach Belke might have found something here that, if a guy's going to come in and play really hard, he's going to find time in a small 9-man school.
Well, again, 2 seniors, a handful of juniors, a lot of sophomores and freshmen getting varsity reps here this season throughout the course of the year for Maple River at the varsity level. This one maybe gets a yard or 2 on the rush attempt here for Griggs-Midkota. Looks to be Watson Spickler, and it is. Spickler gets about 3 yards, brings up 3rd and 8.
I think that the one thing they're probably going to be really worried about moving forward is that center quarterback exchange on the shotgun snap. I think that's the one thing that's kind of thrown them off just a little bit. Their timing seems to be poor, obviously, whenever you have a bad snap, and everything else seems to be really, really fluid.
As they're trying here for the Titans, we've seen a little bit of different formations, but a lot has been kind of in this shotgun. Just got one halfback. We have seen a direct halfback draw. Spickler is going to get wrapped up. Looks like might be a face mask as the head did kind of turn a little bit. You got a couple of flags coming in. And it's just going to be a matter of, I was going to say, is it the 15-yard variety or the short one? And it will be the long variety. So a loss of 3, but you'll essentially get a positive net of 12 and a first down.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You could put a couple good plays together there for the Raiders, and then something like that happens. But, there's certain penalties you can live with and certain penalties you can't. You don't want the stupid ones. I don't think he did anything, egregious there. But you got a lot of guys around the ball, and sometimes, if you just tackle a little bit too high, you can grab a little bit of face mask.
4 penalties for 40 yards now for the Raiders here tonight. First down and 10. Titans ball spotted at Maple River's 36-yard line with 4:20 left to play in the third quarter as Trey Spickler will come out, clean snap this time, hands this one off to the right-handed side. A good stick by Maple River coming in. It's about a 2-yard gain, but you have Watson Spickler again get a couple of positive yards.
There was some downhill action there from the linebackers, some good fill. There was a giant gap created by the offensive line of the Titans there at the point of attack, and then it was very quickly filled.
Ian Lark was part of the tackle. We got Lucas, as you talked about, Kenny, excuse me,
we're good.
Able to be out there. Brings up second down and 8.
My dad told me to never trust a guy with 2 first names, so just remember that.
Second down and 8 upcoming here. Brings up for the Titans. Under center this time, Spickler. Spickler going to roll, looking to throw. Now he's going to run. Spickler 30, Spickler 20, Spickler 10, Spickler 5, and Spickler end zone.
Thought we might have had a crackback block there in the middle, but
a 34-yard rushing touchdown for Spickler on his 11th rush of the game. We do have an injured player on the field, and we will take a break. Continue with more after this. Growing isn't just what happens in the field. It starts with a plan, the right seed, trusted advice, and a partner who's with you every step of the way. That's Brewer Seed and Egg. From planting through harvest, Brewer Seed and Egg is committed to helping your operation grow stronger, smarter, and more profitable. Because when your crops grow, so do the farms and the communities that they serve. Grow with confidence. Grow with Brewer Seed and Egg. The Maple Valley School District is engaging students in a world-class education, preparing them for lifelong success. Maple Valley serves the surrounding communities of Buffalo, Fingal, Oriska, and Tower City with a great student-to-teacher ratio per class. For more information, go online to myraiders.org. That's myraiders.org. The Maple Valley School District wishes the best to the Raiders coaches and athletes this season. Go Raiders! 7th touchdown of the game here for Trey Spickler. 6 on the ground, 1 through the air. 2 through the air. He's got 5 on the ground so far, and 2-point conversion upcoming as Griggs-Midkota is putting up a 50 spot here tonight in Hope. As the Titans right now with this score would make it 3 straight wins over the Raiders here in 9-man football after winning back-to-back the last 2 seasons at home for Griggs-Midkota. Trey Spickler rolling, right-handed side. Spickler to the 5, makes it into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. That's up and in for Dominic Ressler. We'll take a break. 52-6, Titans on the City of Hope scoreboard.
At Sendak Cooperative, we are proud to be your trusted full-service grain, agronomy, and energy choice for our communities in central North Dakota. For all of your grain, agronomy, and energy decisions, they are proud to support our local farmers and communities we work and live in. With our state-of-the-art facilities and dedicated team, we ensure your farming operation will be looked at with care and efficiency. Whether you're looking for marketing decisions, agronomy needs, fuel for your operation, or a hot cup of coffee at their C-stores, Sendak Cooperative has you covered. Visit them online at sendakcooperative.com to learn more about how they can serve you. Sendak Cooperative, proud to serve our communities in central North Dakota.
Spickler with the rushing touchdown from 34 yards. He hits Dominic Ressler for the 2-point conversion, and the Maple River Raiders and the Griggs-Midkota Titans see Griggs-Midkota as they've been efficient tonight, both from their possessions and their 2-point opportunities. 52-6 with under 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. As we'll get back to kickoff here coming up around the corner as the Maple River Raiders looking to get something positive to go as their schedule moving forward. Game home to Tri-State next week. Josh Boyk will be on the call for you up here in Hope. Then they go to Colfax for a date with Richland, host Enderlin on the 18th, and then the back end of their schedule as well with at Northwood, the Lobos, the Warbirds, and South Border to finish off the year. Man, football, you're going to hear about 9 games, and then from there, head to the postseason. Top 4 teams from each region. That one earns a bye. 16 teams make the playoffs, and from there you whittle it down to the quarter semifinals and eventually the Fargo Dome, where the last couple of years it's been New Rockford, Cheyenne, Maddock, and Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion. That's going to be a slow roll there that goes 8 yards before it's picked up at the midfield. Able to pounce on that one for Maple River. Aiden Hannig. Those are always difficult hoots, and Hannig did a good job going towards the football on that roll. You can wait for it to go 10 yards before the Titans pick it up, but sometimes you get a little too cute, and Hannig said, it's coming my way. I'm going to be like a vacuum and clean this one up.
Yeah, they've done a really, really nice job of, there hasn't really even been any scary situations with those yet. Every single one they've been very clean with. The big guys understand, I get it, I go down, and the skill guys get it in their hands, and they're tucking it and getting it in. They've had a lot of positive territory starts to their possessions.
As coming out under the center, Bierke hands this one off. Jens Irie gets maybe about a yard. The ball comes out. They're going to say it's on the ground. So they'll give it 2-3 yards. Jens Irie, 10th carry now for 51 yards. Brings up 2nd and 8. 3 turnovers so far here today for the Raiders. Couple of interceptions, a fumble, a block punt on their opening possession of the game, which the very next play for Griggs-Midkota, they fumble the football to give the ball back to the Raiders. That feels like eons ago here back at the 7 o'clock hour. Wishbone formation. McCoy Bierke to Jens Irie to the outside. Irie makes a guy miss, able to get to about the 45-yard line and eventually tackled at the 43 for a gain of 4.
He's done a good job of being able to make that first guy miss. He's really shifty, and once again, I'm going to come to the same thing. He runs with his pads just a little bit too high, and he's a sophomore. He's going to figure that out, and he's going to be able to do much better things as he gets older.
3rd down upcoming here for Maple River, as they will need 3 yards, 70 seconds left to play in this 3rd quarter.
Apologies, Chase. He's a junior. I'm still on last year's.
Yeah, you're still.
I'm getting there.
Totally understand.
Yep.
Fresh start of the school year for everybody.
Yep.
As we bring up 3rd down and 3. Back. Seeing if it was going to be a wishbone formation, they'll go back to just a single back with Jens. As they're going to look to pitch it. Irie trying to get a cut at the 40-yard line, and Irie will go to about the 36. That's a gain of 6 yards. Good play, though, by the junior, Cade Halverson on the tackle. Gain of 6, though, for Irie, and move the chains.
Yeah, just keep trying to, like I said earlier, build on something positive. Find a play that you like. You get these younger guys on film in positions that maybe they haven't got a whole lot of reps on, and maybe you find something that you like moving forward.
1st down and 10. They'll spot it at the near hash at the 36-yard line. What could be the last play of the quarter here for Maple River, making sure they got everything set and situated, getting everybody set in the wishbone. As McCoy looks back. Little fullback dive to McCullough. McCullough makes his way to the 30 and stretches to the 29, maybe the 28-yard line for a gain of 8 to finish off this 3rd quarter of play. We'll take a break. We head to the 4th. Griggs-Midkota 52, Maple River 6 on yourlivevent.com.
Transform your home with Central City Lumber, your one-stop shop for all your home improvement needs. From showplace cabinets, stylish flooring, and Valspar paint, they have everything you need to bring your vision to life. Their expert team is here to help you choose the perfect materials and provide expert advice for your project. Plus, they build custom portable homes that can be moved anywhere in North Dakota. Visit Central City Lumber in Carrington today and see why they're the go-to destination for home improvement. Central City Lumber, quality you can build on.
At Central Pharmacy, we're more than just a pharmacy. We're your neighborhood destination for healthcare, home decor, and clothing. Pick up your prescriptions, then see what else we have to offer. With 2 convenient locations, we're always close by when you need us. Visit us in Carrington, where you'll find everything from everyday medications to one-of-a-kind gifts. Or stop by our New Rockford store, offering fast service, personal care, and that perfect item for any occasion. Central Pharmacy, 2 locations, 1 mission, caring for you every day.
Coming up in the post-game show, we'll get to our Enbridge Player of the Game, our Agassi Precision Egg Player of the Contest. We'll hear from a member of the winning team, that and more, as Griggs-Midkota has a 52-6 lead over the Maple River Raiders. So far, Maple River on a good little drive as it stands right now. 2nd down and 3 upcoming. As the Raiders trying to get the offense working. And seniors last year gone of Jonah Thompson, Gabe Burnson, Preston Dowse, Brendan Anderson, and Kyle Palmer. So some new faces this year for Raiders football. 2nd down, fumble. This one's on the ground and eventually is going to be picked up, as it'll be a turnover. 4th turnover of the game here for the Raiders. As picking that one up will be Cade Halverson.
I don't know if there was a slight miscommunication on who was supposed to get the ball there. I'm not positive, but yeah, just the ball handling as the year goes on and you get more and more reps throughout the year, both in practice and in games, that tends to get cleaned up. That's what coaches worry about a lot early on.
Yeah, that one just trying to get in the basket of Jen Zyrie. Just could never be a clean transfer, if you will, and now it brings up first down and 10. Titans making sure they got 9 guys in that huddle as they count them all off. Brent Engelbretson, again, our umpire here tonight, or a referee, excuse me, here tonight. You have Ryan Strandy with Mr. Shielberger, Limke, and Carlson. Also part of the crew here this evening. First down and 10 upcoming for Griggs-Midkota, as this will be their second possession of the second half. Trey Spickler hands this one off, and this will be a spin to the 30-yard line, as this will be the opposite Spickler, making his way for about a yard. That's Watson.
I'd like to give credit to both teams. You know, there was a scary situation that happened in this game earlier, and the intensity level, you know, the kids aren't giving up. Every single play, you got a lot of guys around the ball. Excellent sportsmanship. Everybody seems to be helping each other up after every play, but I like that the level of play and the level of intensity hasn't lessened since that.
Yeah, that's Trent Warren going out of the game late in the first half, and everything looks to be all right. Like we said, he got carted off, had a good thumbs up, so that's always good to see. Second down and 9 upcoming. Handoff, Spickler going to pitch it off to Spickler, and then cut, and then Ticky just wraps him down for a tackle for a loss. That's about a loss of 3.
Exploded well out of his stance there and did a nice job of, you know, his first step was downhill toward the quarterback, realized he didn't have the ball, put his foot in the ground, and immediately exploded into that tackle. Well done.
Yeah, Ticky did a really good job. That was, I want to say, textbook, right, of getting off the ball and wrapping somebody up in the backfield. Show that play on the film session.
Yeah, you can do that if you're a tackle, you're a D tackle in 9-man. If you come down toward the middle of the line of scrimmage as an end, that's usually a death sentence for your defense.
First, again, keeping the contain as much as you can. Third down and 11 upcoming. Spickler trying to spin. Ticky wrapping him up for another loss. Ticky does it again. A tackle for a loss and a sack. This one will go all the way back to the 22-yard line. It's a loss of 6.
Really, really well done once again there. You know, and you talk about 9-man DNs, they're not like edge rushers that are going to rack up, 17 sacks in 8 games. How many times last year did we say Jonah Thompson absolutely just destroyed a team and he had 1 tackle? But every single time he funneled stuff back into his linebackers. And, a really good 9-man D end may just be, just heard from by, the people that really know ball on the sidelines.
And Trey Spickler coming out here, Hoots, with a little gimp to his left leg right now. So I think we'll see Trace probably out of the game for the remainder. And you're hoping that everything's good long-term as we get a official's time for the trainer to come across and make sure to look at Trace as he's going to be attended to, and that left shoe is going to be coming off. So he had a little bit of a gimp after Ticky was able to wrap him up. And for the Titans' perspective, you're hoping this is nothing more than just a twisted ankle. More than likely won't see him for the rest of the contest with where the score in the game is, but you don't want this to linger, as you alluded to, Hoots. And week 2 of the season, you don't want small injuries to become big injuries, as Zahn puts a nice end-over-end kick. This one will make its way. It's going to be a free ball. Jens Irie picks it up then at the 50. Irie makes another man miss the 45-yard line, gets to the 40. That's where he's going to be wrapped up there. And we got another injured player back at the 20-yard line. We'll take a break with 9:21 left here in the fourth quarter.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions today and beyond with the Drain Tile Project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
High school football here tonight on the City of Hope scoreboard. Maple River will start at the 39-yard line here of Griggs-Midkota. This will be their 10th possession of the game, first in the fourth quarter that they will start with the football. A game that started back at 7 o'clock tonight. As a good starting field position here for Maple River. And the one thing in 9-man football, you start getting some players that get nicked up. You don't have 30, 40 guys on a roster, so you can go from your first wave and you say, okay, maybe we have 2 or 3 guys that we feel comfortable. And all of a sudden you start going into freshmen and you might say we don't feel comfortable just because you're not physically built.
Correct.
Going up against someone who's, 2 or 3 years older than him is Jens Irie at the 40-yard line. Irie takes a tackler with him to the 34 for a gain of 5.
Believe it or not, coaches have a tough job. Their job is to make sure that they put a winning product on the field, but they also to protect the kids that aren't quite ready for the physicality of varsity level football. And it's tough because most 9-man teams don't have enough kids to play JV. So the reps are few and far between for some of these younger guys.
Second down upcoming, clock winding, under 9 minutes to play as Bierke going to fullback dive this one to Ian Lark, and look at Lark zing his way past the 30 to the 24-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 23 for a gain of 11.
You see many starters in there now, Chase, for Griggs-Midkota?
Yeah, still a handful in there, and I think it's the same thing, right? Like we talked about, 16 players in this particular lineup, and you already have one that already has his pads off, and Spickler's got that left foot up right now on the bench as it stands. So first down and 10, and even with 16 guys, if you just do the math, there's a fumble. It's on the ground. This one's going to be picked up then as Irie gets about 2 yards. Might be a horse collar tackle, but if you do the math, Hoots, and you lose one player, then you're down to 15, and you will get the horse collar tackle. You still have to have even 3 guys minimum of starters out there no matter what.
Right, yeah, and then you go, okay, well, we're going to start sliding guys into different spots. Well, sometimes when you put guys in different spots, that's when, if you don't have enough reps in practice, then you might make a mistake that you're not accustomed to, and that's when guys can get hurt. So, it's tough, and coaches in this situation, it's like, we just need this clock to hit 0 right now.
That'll be the 4th penalty of the game for Griggs-Midkota for 35 yards. It'll go 10 yards, half the distance to the goal line on the horse collar from the 20 to the 10. Under 8 minutes to play. Fullback dive. Lark going to get stoned. Alverson does a good job meeting him for about a gain of 1. First and goal goes to now 2nd and goal at the 9.
Good job making that first contact and pushing it backwards. Got a quick whistle, which you like to see right now. You don't want to see guys struggling for yardage right here and then getting piled up on. Quick whistles are going to be very good here from the Stripes.
And it's the same even for the Raiders, right? You've had 1 or 2 guys nicked up, so all of a sudden you go from 20 guys being suited up to 17, and you start moving your way through. And like we talked about for Maple River, not a lot of older classmen here this season. So I've seen a lot of sophomores and freshmen, one starting, but also that's kind of your reserves coming in to the game as well. 2nd down and 9. QB keeper, little bobsled play as this one makes the way to the 5, trying to get in the end zone. Looks like he'll get popped out of bounds close to the 2-yard line there for Bierke.
Marked it right at the 2.
So gain of 7 on the play.
There was not much space. That was a short-sided bobsled. And when he turned it up the field, he was right on the sideline. Might have got an advantageous spot.
A 3rd down and goal. Ball at the 2-yard line. As these are situations that we've seen the Raiders traditionally come out I or maybe a wishbone formation. Lark and Irie kind of been the 2 that have been the brunt of the load so far here running the football. Bierke under center. Lark will see this one trying to slip through the end zone, and he's in. Lark with his 3rd rush of the possession. This finds Pater for his first rushing score of the evening.
I like that Lark got the carry there. He's been playing, left guard when fully functioning offense is out on the field, and to be able to give him a carry at fullback and he's run the ball really, really well here. That's a good thing because you never know if Mr. Warren gets back, and then he might slide right back into his lineman position and might not get another carry.
Yeah, and Lark, like you said, showing he's got some speed and she's got some cutting ability. As Lark trying to get the 2-point conversion as well. Lark will go right back. Go to where your bread is buttered, if you will. And that's a 2-point rushing score as well. New score on the City Hope scoreboard. Griggs-Midkota 52. Maple River 14 late in the 4th quarter.
Every jersey has a number, and behind every number is a dream. A future teacher, an electrician, a nurse, a farmer, and a business owner. Maybe even tomorrow's community leader.
If we can make that happen, then we've done our job. At Dakota Heritage Bank, we're proud to invest in the people behind the dreams.
For more information, visit www.dhb.bank. Dakota Heritage Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
As we continue here, the Ian Lark rushing touchdown, 2-point conversion as well, 52-14, 5:47 left to play in the fourth quarter on the City of Hope scoreboard. Griggs-Midkota with this result will improve to 2-0 on the season, and also these are region games, 9-man football, right from the rip, games that could make or break your season in terms of trying to find your way into the 16 teams in the playoffs. Well, for everybody else, you at least get 2 weeks, maybe a month from 2A and AAA football before you get to your conference games. There goes Zahn. Zahn at the 50. Zahn makes a man miss, gets the 45. Zahn with the burners, 40 near sideline 30, and he gets taken out of bounds to the 25-yard line. Nice return. We've seen Tristan Zahn, the junior, make a couple of nice plays throughout the course of the game here for the Titans.
Yeah, electric. He put his foot in the ground and had a lot of good blocking up front. But, hey, you like to see the kicker go get that tackle, right?
Gotta love kickers because in 9-man football, I think it's you're a linebacker, an offensive lineman, a running back, and then kicker in parentheses.
Well,
Normally you don't see you're just a true kicker, so to speak.
Correct, yes.
In 9-man football. As we get a timeout on the field, we'll take a break with them here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
I get to high school volleyball coming up on Monday and Tuesday as that sport starts up here, upcoming. So you can go to YourLiveEvent.com and check out our complete schedule and rundown. And then we'll have more high school football next Friday for Friday Night Lights across the state of North Dakota, and Minnesota gets underway. Minnesota, if you're looking for high school and prep football, they get underway on Thursday. As Minnesota traditionally has their openers on Thursday, you allow yourself to enjoy Labor Day weekend without Friday Night Lights, as they will be back in the swing of things coming up here this week as well for high school sports. As this year, you make your way through. I'm going to go to Barnes County North for the District 1 volleyball tournament this year, right around Halloween. And State going to be in Bismarck again for the second year of the 3-division system. As coming in for Griggs-Midkota will be Carson Uranus. And Spickler will get about a yard back to the line, so he will get 2nd and 10.
Starting to get some changes over on the defensive side of the ball here now for the Raiders. Ticky probably played his last snap, and same thing with Bierke. So get some younger guys some reps here that you never know how many you're going to get throughout the year, so these ones early in the year are important.
As they are, and no matter what, you can put something on film and still be a teachable moment throughout the course of the week. As Spickler, and you see Carson Uranus right now pretty much getting under center once they hard count. And you got all 4 of the front line to jump. It'll be 2nd and 5.
You got kids that want to make a good first impression and try to get a good jump off the ball and make a play in the backfield, and sometimes that happens.
That is kind of one where you're a coach at the practice field, right? You're on the sled and being like, okay, watch the ball, and then you're trying to hard count and do everything, and all of a sudden the sled moves, and you're going, let's do it again.
Yep.
2nd down and 5 upcoming. Hand off, Spickler. That's a good tackle, but we do get a flag on the play, as Lucas Kenny was able to make that one. We'll see the flag. It looks like to be on Griggs-Midkota, so does Coach Belke want to move him back a couple of yards or take a 3rd down and about 6?
Decline, I believe he said.
Not everybody's set on the line, so they'll just say you get back to your original play, and we'll see 8th rush of the game for Spickler. That's not Lucas. That again is Watson. And it brings up third down upcoming. Clock continues to wind. So Uranus go back under center. Speaking of center here for Griggs-Midkota, able to see Hayden Shooter, the senior, under center. Spickler trying to get the cutback after the sweep play inside the 22 to about the 18. Gets 2 yards on the play and brings up a fourth down.
Yeah, good pursuit on the backside there. He made him cut back, and we've talked about many times in 9-man football, cutbacks usually are dangerous, but a lot of guys there sitting waiting for him.
Previous possession was the first punt of the night for Griggs-Midkota. A fumble, a bevy of touchdowns, half. Then we'll see what they can do here. Fourth down and short upcoming, and if you get the first, you can get one more first down without having to score, and that would pretty much put this game officially then on ice if you run at least 2 plays in between if you get the first down. Looking to pass. Uranus is going to get sacked in the backfield. That's a loss of about 10. Able to come up from the outside for Maple River. How about Lucas coming in there and able to make a play?
Yeah, he's made a lot of plays here and just a lot of energy and effort, and he knows how to finish a play there. We've seen it earlier where he hog-tied a guy from the shoulders, and then this one is more, I guess, a little higher execution.
It'll be turnover on downs for the first time tonight for the Titans. Maple River calls timeout. We'll break with them. Put a ball on our coverage when we return next here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Enbridge's Indigenous Reconciliation Action Plan is a promise and a commitment to listening and learning from the lived experiences of Indigenous people and applying that knowledge with action to forge a path towards reconciliation, towards building a future increasingly inclusive and respectful of Indigenous rights, values, and heritage. Learn more about how Enbridge is making good on that promise at Enbridge.com.
As we come back here on YourLiveEvent.com, 3:15 to go here in this football game. As making our way into the 9 o'clock hour. Coming back through, crazy to think, just 2 months away from Halloween if you're into the holiday season. Doesn't feel like it in terms of what the weather has been, but we are coming up around that time. Once you get to the month of September, we'll get to some out-of-town scores here in a moment as well across the state of North Dakota, particularly in 9-man football. Maple River, the Raiders will come out, full house backfield. They'll pitch this one on the outside for about a gain of 1, maybe 2, as that's Meester. Meester gets back to the line.
Now, there's some big boys out there still from Griggs-Midkota, and like I said, you can't stop them all, but they're certainly going to be able to stand out in this the very end of the game here, and hopefully nothing too crazy happens here on the injury front in the last 3 minutes.
Jesse Burnell, a freshman out there. Under center right now is Noah Olstead, a sophomore for the Maple River Raiders. Brings up second down and 10. As Noah Olstead will go under center with this wishbone formation. Pitch play. Trying to get to the outside to the 25, 30, 35. And going to get the first down and some on the rush. Meester able to show you some burners on the play, and they'll mark him down at the 39-yard line.
All right, now he can strut his stuff when he comes in for film on Monday on this play right there. That was a good play.
Meester able to get to the 40-yard line as it stands right now for, as we talked about, a youthful squad. Out-town scoreboard final tonight. Hankinson over Richland 50-8. 50-8. Hankinson picks up the win. That game has officially gone final for the Pirates to get to 2-0 in this season. South Border leads Enderlin 36-24 with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. LLM defeats Tri-State 72-0. Final for the Lobos. As this one going to be weaving his way for a couple of yards. Trying to get that. And that'll get back to about the original line. And also, late in the fourth quarter, good one. Hatton, Northwood, Wymer, Lidgewood. The Thunder 30, the Warbirds 28. Between the Thunder and the Warbirds. Second down upcoming.
That was a pretty big Wymer lead early, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Maybe a tale of two halves, if you will. As the Raiders second down 9. Pitch play to the outside. Trying to get to the boundary again is Meester. Meester gets tackled in open space by Griggs-Midkota there with Watson Spickler. Be 3rd down and 9.
By number 35, Watson Spickler.
I got one more play upcoming here. 3rd down up on the way with where the time is. And the running clock, maybe 2 if you can get one in quickly. This could be the last play of the contest. With this result, the Titans improved to 2-0 on the season. 2 wins over Tri-State and Maple River. The Raiders will drop to 0-2 with losses against the Titans and the Hankinson Pirates last week in Hankinson. As you have the wishbone, handoff, Meester trying to get by his own offensive lineman, and Toby Abraham, the sophomore, just wrecked that play immediately. Brings it 4th down. As the Raiders will see 5 seconds, and that'll do it here tonight in Hope. Your final on the City of Hope scoreboard. Griggs-Midkota 52, the Maple River Raiders 14. A post-game show coming up around the corner. That is next here on your LiveVet.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
At Gar Dental Center, dentistry is about people first. They're proud to offer exceptional care to Carrington and the surrounding areas. Meet Dr. Gar and Dr. Sam and their dedicated team of dental professionals. Gar Dental is your home for dental implants, along with a wide variety of services, including guided biofilm therapy. Their experienced dental team is here to ensure you smile with confidence. Visit them at gardental.com or call 701-652-2300 to schedule an appointment today.
See you soon!
Hometown Community Bank serves both the Hope Page and Maple Valley School Districts in Page and Fingal, North Dakota. If you're interested in an ag loan, real estate, consumer, commercial, or HELOC, give Dwight a call at either branch location. Reach out to Janine about investing in a certificate of deposit or save by opening a money market account. Proudly supporting the Maple River Raiders and wishing the athletes and coaches a successful year. Hometown Community Bank is an equal housing lender and member of the FDIC.
As we come back, the cat's out of the bag after a really good first half. Our Enbridge Energy player of the game. Go to Enbridge.com for career opportunities. Life takes energy. Finishing here in this contest, just wrapping them up again with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touchdowns here tonight. 5 on the ground, 2 in the air is the senior quarterback. That is Trace Spickler, as Spickler has 14 touchdowns here on the season. And would finish here tonight with 211 yards rushing on 12 attempts of 5 scores. He goes 139 yards through the air. He would finish with 350 yards of total offense, and he goes 8 of 9 here in this one as well for 139. So Trace Spickler is our player of the game, brought to you in part by Enbridge. We go from there to our Agassi Precision Egg play of the contest. It's going to be those Spickler rushes, but also getting the block punt to open up the game here for Griggs-Midkota is Lane Ressler. Lane Ressler kind of had the wind knocked out of him because he got so far deep into the backfield, and Ressler got the block punt to open up the game and get the special teams play. Also, when he forced a couple of fumbles, a couple of turnovers with a block punt, that is a lot of good things from a Griggs-Midkota point of view, and you add that all up to our Agassi Precision Egg play of the contest. Go to Agassi Precision Egg website, and I know you got the harvest season here, but you got to get ready for spring planting. Go to planterdoc.com. That again is planterdoc.com. Phone numbers offensively here tonight. 389 yards of offense, 250 on the ground, 139 through the air for Griggs-Midkota, 0 turnovers, 4 penalties for 35 yards for Maple River, 112 yards of offense, 122 on the ground, minus 10 through the air, 5 penalties for 45 yards, and a couple of turnovers here tonight as well for the Maple River Raiders. Jens Irie, 14 carries for 68 yards, was the leader for the Raiders. Well, for Trace Spickler, like we said, a little bit of everything, 12 carries for 211, 5 scores. He goes 139 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. Ronigan, 3 catches for 48. Dominic Ressler, 3 catches for 51 yards. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from a player of Griggs-Midkota, the coach player, coming up here around the corner, and our post-game interviews. That and more is still to come here on YourLiveVent.com.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hopepage.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
Interviews are brought to you in part by Dakota Heritage Bank. We have Trace Spickler, and alongside with his head coach down there, Mr. Doctor. Let's send it to our very own Nathan Hoots.
Hey, Trace, over 350 yards of total offense tonight, another 7 touchdowns. Tell me what you saw on film or maybe early in the game that knew that you something you could take advantage of.
Off the rip, I knew our guys were playing really good together, and that outside was wide open all night, and the guys were getting early. Good job sealing that edge for us.
All right, kind of an unconventional break late in the second quarter. Talk to me about what was talked about. What was the message in the huddle during that time, and to get you guys, you jumped on at 14-0, two plays, 2 touchdowns, a 3-and-out that you guys forced. What was the message during that break?
We just knew we had to keep the energy up, not let that get us down, and come out ready to play, even after what happened.
Richland a week from tonight. What's the message to the guys between now and that time to keep your focus on what's been a good start to the year?
We just got to keep bringing it in practice and working hard every day, and that's what'll get us that win on next Friday.
All right, very good. Thank you. I'm going to talk to your coach now. Nice job tonight. All right, 2-0 to start this year. What's the message to the guys that you just portrayed to them now? What are you going to talk to them about on film moving forward into next week?
Yeah, we're tired tonight. Those guys played hard. We had probably about 11 guys that were playing just about every play. We're short on numbers. We had 16 guys on the sideline. It's tough, but our message this year is play with heart. And these guys left it all on the field, and we can't stop. The season gets long, and our competition keeps getting harder every week. So we got to look forward to Richland and see what happens.
Yeah, we talked a lot about you kind of just had to shuffle the deck with guys in there rather than, you couldn't do the wholesale changes. All right, Trace, another spectacular game tonight. What does he bring outside of the touchdowns to this team every single day?
Trace is just an athlete, but above that, he is such a hard worker. He's a leader on the team. The guys look up to him, and that's what starts it for everybody. When you can follow that guy, the guys believe in him, and that makes everybody play harder.
Talk about what did you guys talk about during that? Like I talked to Trace about the unconventional break. What was the message to the guys, and what did you hope for moving forward after that?
you know, when we were down at this side of the field and we still wanted to score, but you got to stay loose. You know, you got 15, 25 minutes, you know, in there, and you can't sit around. You just got to get up and keep moving and allow the team to jump in there and keep going where we were at.
All right, well, congratulations, and hopefully you guys stay healthy, and good luck moving forward. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks a lot, dudes.
Thank you very much, Nathan Hoots. I was just tallying up Spickler's numbers so far through 2 games, and the word is stupid, ridiculous, game-worthy, EA Sports, Madden. I mean, these are just insane numbers when you add them up. Spickler so far through 2 games has 14 touchdowns, 659 yards of total offense in 2 games so far, and he would finish here both against Tri-State and Maple River with 7 touchdowns in each game. Hoots, I'm no mathematician, but that's a lot of average of good things here for the Titans moving forward with their senior quarterback.
I tell you what, it's like when I got Madden for the first time or NCAA football for the first time as a kid. I would always play the game on JV level to begin and then just laugh at being able to score on every possession. He needs to he's got to bump that level up just a little bit. I think he's playing on JV level. His numbers and everything that he does, he's a two-way threat. He's not just a guy that, you know, runs it, or not a guy that just is a pocket passer. He does a lot of really good things for this team, and you can tell that his success, everybody's excited about it. As you move forward, taking a look at what you're doing, what is the one thing from a Griggs-Midkota and a Maple River point of view going forward into week number 3? I think Griggs-Midkota, it's tough. You got to balance keeping these guys in shape, but also you got to recognize the amount of reps that they're getting with 16 guys that are dressed right now. It's going to be that management of bodies every single week. As long as they keep getting wins, you know, whatever they've been doing, it's clearly been working, and they're going to look to continue to build on that. And with Maple River, it's, you know, refocusing. It's this was kind of an emotionally draining game for them, and hopefully they'll get some good news here on Mr. Warren here shortly, and be able to refocus and get back to work and look to get in the win column next week. Those interviews brought to you in part by Dakota Heritage Bank. Griggs-Midkota with the win over Maple River, 52-14. Hoots, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the broadcast next week here with Josh Boyko here in Maple River. Hey, enjoy Atlanta. I will. A little college football coming up here in a couple of days. That again is Nathan Hoots on behalf of Joey Hughes. I'm Chase Miller. 52-14. Titans pick up the win over the Raiders. They won 3 straight in the series. Have a great rest of your Friday night, and we'll see you next week coming up Monday, Tuesday for high school volleyball right here on YourLiveEvent.com.